If athleisure was a radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids are, I'm him. Shut up. Kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys. Oh, baby. One of the boys is the man, the myth, Reese. The other is Dom Tiberi. He's here, too. How you doing, buddy? A Thursdays with Tiberi for 3 hours.
Now do you hear me? There we go. I just learned
Mute
this.
your phone.
I got Reese. Reese came. First of all, have you
This is
seen?
going exactly how I wanted it to go.
Have you not
Mute
seen?
your phone first, and then the red light, you hit mic on.
Is the phone
Now,
on?
I don't. I think you're still. I don't.
It is.
Well, you called me on FaceTime. What in the name of? Look,
Just
everyone
mute it up.
watching here. What do you want me to do?
I want you to mute
Can
your
I
phone.
turn the phone off?
No,
Why
because I
do-
want to be able to see you. So just mute it.
All right. Here we
You
go.
see
Is
the
that
mic?
it? Is it?
No, still not.
What about now?
I'm just going to turn it.
I don't know what the. What are we doing?
Don't listen to me. Don't
Yes.
listen. What are you doing? No FCC violations today.
I'm
How do you-
not.
You've navigated 4 decades in this market. No FCC
You have
violations.
set me
I
up.
mean.
You have set me up. Anyways, no. Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
and then he. Have you seen the way he's dressed? He's got a very good looking outfit on. And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000
on the one button.
There's 8,000 buttons in front of me.
Oh,
I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on. You hit that one, and then the mic goes on.
Holy
Do you want me to hit
Here's
the
the
intro
thing.
again? And we.
Yeah, boy.
Here's the thing.
Boy, we
Reese.
stuck the landing on this one, didn't we?
You got to remember, Dami is a prompter jockey. So
Yes.
light goes on, he talks.
Yeah.
So we may have to you may have to do the button pushing from your end.
No, I'll do it. Now I know.
Now
But
you know?
I didn't understand. He was like Reese was like he had his game face on. He came on. He wanted to headbutt me and all this stuff.
He doesn't have that type of violence
Look,
in him.
I have adapted. I now run my own prompter, sir.
I can't do that. That's why I got out.
Yeah, I do. I run my own prompter. I do it all now. You know.
I can't do that. On the program today, by the way, Uncle Dom will be here for the full 3, so this will be pure joy. 10 o'clock, we'll hit your emails. We got a lot of emails to get through. I know that there will be some questions in the YouTube chat. I know you put it out on social as well, so we'll answer those as the program goes along. 10:33, Paul Finebaum will join the program. So he will join us at 10:33. An elimination weekend in the Southeastern Conference by any measure. Certainly for Ole Miss to lose against Georgia, that'd be the it for them. And I would think that the Bama LSU loser would be gone as well. We will beat the house at 11. The Bengals are at home, rather on the road tonight at Baltimore, and it kind of feels like a must-win for them, so we'll get you set for that as well. The Browns had their State of the Union address. That happened yesterday from General Manager Andrew Berry. We will kind of parse through what we can and try to do a little translating, Andrew, on that one in terms of what they're thinking for the rest of this season and the offseason. I first met Dom. I was hired at Channel 10 ONN in May of 2007.
Yeah.
You, sir, were a jerk.
Yeah. What does that mean?
reminded me-
I was a jerk.
I'll tell you, it reminds me like the scene in Step Brothers when he goes, the old bull and the young calf.
Yeah.
And you were the old bull, and you had to assert dominance because it was in the summer, and at that time there was 9 of us.
What did I do? Wrestle you? What are you saying?
No,
I just
no.
Did I take the thumb
No.
to you? What did I do?
You treated me a little bit like Tony with Chrissy in the beginning. That's kind of how it was. Like I get you, and then so what happened was in those days we had like 9-10 people at Channel 10 in the sports department.
Yeah.
And in the summer you guys all had been there a long time, and so all of you had to take these incredibly long vacations because you would have you must have like 60 weeks vacation now.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
right.
But like you guys all had these big vacations in the summer. So you were the first person I met at Channel 10 was Dami. And initially you were cold, but then we bonded quite quickly over Sarcasm and Sopranos and all these other things.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. Now you're one of my dear, great friends of all time, my buddy.
I don't remember the standoffishness. It was just, I was just checking you out. You came in, and I do remember that you were slick.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you had an air about you. You had a slickness about you, and there was a coolness about you.
Oh, I don't know.
That picture I posted. If you
So
guys
go to
are
social.
if you go to Twitter or X, whatever you call it, I posted a photo, and you've often heard on this show sometimes Bo and I talk about how we were ahead of our times because we would do the Facebook things and we did all that stuff. Well, we would put ourselves in situations. Would you say that was fair?
I would say that's fair.
And so we decided we had this gentleman named Eric Klug, who was our photographer, and he would drive the vehicle. And we were going to the NCAA tournament. We were heading to Pittsburgh, and we decided that we would do the limousine type thing.
That's right.
And the photo was taken of you and I in the back seat. I don't know if we were in a car wash. Look at the back of the window. It's like I don't know where we. I think Klug drove into Niagara Falls or something.
Der Kaiser.
Yeah. But we were ahead of our time on that stuff.
Well, it was, you got to remember at that time, folks, that nobody really knew what the hell we were doing with social media.
Yeah.
I don't know if we still do. I quite honestly, I don't know if anybody still knows what they're doing, but we definitely didn't know what we were doing then. And we would have these people who would come in and they'd be social media experts and they'd tell us what to do. And I remember one of them was like, well, just follow everybody who follows you.
Remember that? And I've got people say to me, why do you follow 25,000 people on Twitter? Because they told me to.
We didn't know. Nobody knew. And so you would have these, and it didn't make sense because I started doing stuff with Bob. This would have been 2000, probably 10 or 11 here at the Fan. And he and I did the off season with Bobby Carpenter. And I immediately realized that Twitter was going to be a very functional usage of timeline.
Yeah, you were ahead of the game on Twitter.
I don't know if I was or not.
Well,
but
I went Facebook, you went Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know which. I don't know. I think they all suck, quite honestly. But in terms of like what the job is now, like Twitter is the most functional for me in order of if something happens while we're doing a live show, I can hear about it, or see about it. And that's kind of the way that thing goes. But no, it was, and we were there 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years I was at Channel 10, 8.5 years, something like that. And it was. I always tell people this about that time. It was kind of the end of you had the full golden age of television.
Right.
Like that preceded me in terms of, I mean, I tell people all the time, like you guys used to, with the Wolf family, you guys used to fly private jet.
We had 5 planes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fly to go cover. Tim talked about that last week when he was talking about going to State College. He goes, we used to fly day of.
Yeah.
Fly over to State College and
Absolutely.
go cover a football game. So that's the way it used to be. But what we did was we had a great group of people and we had fun.
Oh, we had a ball. And I remember, the whole social media thing you talked, because we were together. And I had always been telling my kids, because my kids were young like yours now, and my kids, they were the big thing was MySpace. Remember that one?
Sure.
And so I was always screaming at my daughters, you're not going to have social media. It is the devil. There's nothing but predators out there, nothing good about it. And they would start them, and I'd blow them up, and I'd go crazy. And my daughter had a phone, and I'm going, give me that phone, And then I'll never forget, the management had a meeting, and they said, it's time that we've come into the 20th century. Everyone needs to have a social media. And I'm going, I remember sitting there, and I remember saying to you, so they're going to pay us to get on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
And what I have found is that Facebook is a little more civil.
Okay.
And Twitter is the Wild West.
Yeah, it probably is. And the funny thing, so my kid now, my oldest, he's 12. We used to call him the coach. I now call him NBC. He is now 12. Well, you met him at the Nebraska game. You got to see him you met him when he was born.
You have a beautiful family. They're beautiful.
Thanks, brother.
Just wonderful.
And he's doing they do the Snapchat, and then they do they're getting into the Instagram. That's thing right now. And I suppose it'll lead to TikTok, and I think we can all agree it's just absolutely brutal. I will say that one of the things that you and I got so close on was Sunday Wall. And every once in a while, a photo will pop up of you and I hosting a show, and there's one for sure that has James Laurinaitis, Marcus Freeman, and James Buster Douglas.
Yep.
There's another one we did that had the guy who was Pete Weber.
Pete Weber. Remember the guy that had the triple X chop?
The bowler.
Yeah, the bowler.
We did a show that had Pete Weber and Rampage Jackson.
Yes.
The UFC guy. Like, who's booking this? How are we getting these people? It doesn't even make. It was crazy.
Fabulous. But Pete came on and he was fabulous. I mean, he was doing
really
the chop. Remember, it's when they took bowling and they said, we've got to upgrade it. And the bowling became a cross between bowling and WWE wrestling.
Yes.
I mean, it was amazing. But remember we had live audiences back then?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Like in those days, we had live audience, and they'd sit there and we'd give them the Donatos, and they'd watch us do the show. Reese, you grew up in Arlington. Like, wall-to-wall sports had to be a fixture.
Yeah. I don't want to say it, but I'll say it. I grew up watching you guys.
Thank you.
You're living legends.
Yeah, well.
So the honor's mine.
You've watched me a little longer than Bo. Bo still looks good.
No,
although there's this new shampoo. My wife always is yelling. She goes, "What did you put in your hair?"
Yeah.
I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I see what you have in the shower." I go, "What is it?" So there's this new stuff out that it's like a shampoo, Bo.
Okay.
And you put it in, and then miraculously you wash it out, and after a couple days, your hair looks all right.
I will be honest. Outside of Dom, you losing weight, you guys haven't changed in 20 years.
That's probably true.
I did lose a few pounds.
You look great.
Yeah. Bo grew a beard. He looks.
I did. Yeah, I couldn't have a beard.
You look like you could be a Yellowstone, one of the foremen.
That's back Sunday, by the way.
Oh, I can't wait.
New episodes coming on Sunday. Yeah, very excited for that. Lots to get to here on the program today. A fun night last night for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll look back on that. Get Dommy's thoughts, his early thoughts on the Buckeye basketball team and their debut on Monday night. Lots of Ryan Day chatter as well as we start to focus on Purdue coming to town on Saturday. We're off and running. It's going to be a ride, kids. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Need a new health insurance plan? Don't feel like you have to search for one on your own. There's Health Markets. When you visit healthmarkets.com, you can speak with a licensed insurance agent in your area and get personalized recommendations. With Health Markets, you can feel confident you're choosing a health insurance plan that fits your needs and your budget. See how easy it can be to search for your next health insurance plan with healthmarkets.com. Visit healthmarkets.com today. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The Buckeye Buckeyes are back at the shoe for a Big Ten battle with Purdue.
Live fan coverage starts Saturday morning at 6:30 with the kick at noon.
Your home for Ohio State football. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Did you wake up with joint pain? I know how that feels, but not anymore thanks to QC Kinetics. Just like me, you deserve pain relief with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, Dr. Ray Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics can get you there like they did for me and my dad. You see, my dad and I trusted QC Kinetics because they are the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments. This technology that's giving people like you and I an option other than surgery, all natural approach to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. QC Kinetics joint pain treatments can be life-changing for so many people. And I can tell you, and I get tested, I needed surgery. And my dad, his knee was bothering him, and he can walk now. And I can go run and do the things I want to do. We got relief just like tens of thousands of other people. And it's getting near the end of the year, so you can use those HSA and FSA funds before they may expire at year's end. So go check them out at 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's QCkinetics.com/Columbus in Dublin and Gahanna.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Ohio's public educators are dedicated professionals who are committed to helping all students reach their full potential. No exceptions. Let's make sure educators have a seat at the table when policy decisions are being made, and trust the professionals to do the jobs they were trained to do. Because in Ohio, public education matters.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Clouds this morning. However, the sun does come out later on today. It'll be cooler than yesterday with a high in the low 60s. Sunny tomorrow, high 63. Dry Saturday with increasing clouds. And then we are tracking our next rainstorm on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Rubishad with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
It's your Uncle Bo here, friends. Low testosterone causes a host of problems. Low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. Many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider they are medical treatments and give them back their vigor and vibrancy. If you're feeling like this, I know I was, it's time for you to treat your low T and change your life. And I went and saw my friends at Tri-State Men's Health. It's been an absolute game changer for me. They are the experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. Successfully treated men for low T. Men have seen amazing differences in those treatments and the ones that they can make in their life. I know I have. I just had the energy to chase the boys the way that I used to, and quite honestly wasn't sleeping as well as I was in years past. And I am now, and a lot of it, the credit goes to my great friends at Tri-State Men's Health. Here's what you do. You go in there for a consultation. They're going to do your lab work in about 30 minutes. I went through it. It's discreet. It's quick. It's easy. You're going to have a conversation with a licensed medical provider. They're going to provide those results with you, discuss your options. Then you make the decision together with the medical team, and the cost of the appointment's $99. If you sign up for low T treatment that day, though, that cost is waived. So it's a win-win for you. 800-900-9654, TriStateMen'sHealth.com today. Tri-State Men's Health, 2 locations here in town. Quick exit off 270 in Hilliard, near Medical Mile in Westerville as well. I did get this on the X platform, Cam, with an incredible picture of you in Wall to Wall Sports. He writes, lucky to be on Wall to Wall a few times, none with Bo. Did get to visit with Buster and Coach Bruce. Coach Bruce was a fixture. I mean, He's a legend. What I would say, Cam, what's very possible is I probably co-hosted that show, and you just didn't want a picture with me.
You think that would happen?
Because that would happen a lot. Yeah, I would sneak out. In the early days, I would sneak out, and you would take pictures with the people, because you've always been a man of the people.
Well, I don't know about that. I think I just was looking. I typed your name and my name in on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And I did not remember how many videos we did. I did not remember how many photos of us there were with wall to wall. I mean, it was loaded on Facebook. We did, you know what? We did a lot of stuff. We did a lot of videos. And if you folks, you can go there. They're all archived on Facebook. Just some of the incidents we had with the geese here and the maintenance man. We made the maintenance man here. Jim was his name. Remember?
Yeah, I remember Jim.
That guy. Yeah, we made that guy a movie star at Channel 10.
What we did was, this was the early start of social and people trying to figure out what to do, and they're like, well, they want to know you guys better. That's what all the consultants said. They want to know you guys better. So do these videos. So Dami and I did these videos, and I think we eventually called them Off the Wall.
Yeah, we did.
And we would do 2 or 3 a week probably, and it was basically like Channel 10 was The Office.
Yeah.
And we would talk to people and oftentimes ambush them. There was a geese incident. That the former news director at the Ohio News Network.
I saw him the other night, by the way. He asked about you.
He's great.
Yeah.
Craig's great. But he did not like us chasing the geese off. We were throwing snowballs at the geese. He did not like that.
No, they fed them. They would feed the geese.
I don't know if they actually did.
No, they did. There were certain people that were feeding the geese. Now, I don't know if you folks know anything about the geese. They're very protective.
Yeah.
They've got this nasty shh when they make that noise, you know, and and you have always been afraid of birds. You're just terrified of birds. I've never met a guy, you are a Montana man where you got bear and you got cougars and you got all these animals that can eat you. And the biggest thing you were afraid of were birds.
Yeah.
And these guys would feed them, and they would come up. Remember? And we probably had 100 of them. Remember?
It was a whole flock.
Yeah, it was incredible, and they were dropping bombs everywhere, all over the park, and you couldn't walk through. And so you and I took it upon ourselves. We were going to get rid of them.
That's right.
And you know, I told you. Remember? I don't know if you remember. I told you if you go to golf courses, they bring dogs in.
We did.
And they would harass the birds, and they would leave the golf course.
Yep.
And I said, we can be the dogs.
Yeah.
Remember, you and I were going to be like dogs.
Well, I don't remember me ever co-signing that I was going to go be a dog and chase geese with you. I was more along the lines of, let's hire some dogs to come chase the geese.
But we didn't have any. No one was going to pay for it, and if we brought dogs in, so we decided to be the dogs. I remember this perfectly. And you went along, and we decided we would video it as well.
Yeah, and it was what we would do is in terms of if your code for being dogs was throw snowballs at them, then yes.
Well, we chased them. We harassed them to get them out. And then what happened? No, they came out here waving, and it was like they were like, you can't do that to the geese. They're our pets.
It's like they were the dodo bird, like an endangered species.
Yeah.
There's literally 1 billion of them.
Yes.
Population geese, Central Ohio, 1 billion.
Yes. It was insane. It was crazy.
I do remember getting some few people like upset from like the animal protective that we were throwing the snowballs. But,
he came up to us and he said, "Hey, you guys, you know, there's a lot of people here that like the geese." And I go, really? Who?
Name them.
You and the other two? You 3? It was 3 of them, remember?
3 of them, yeah.
I'm going, I said it's like a landmine out there.
We called them Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, that was what it was. And no, he was waving at us, and we're like, we harassed him. They kind of left a little bit.
We were doing God's work. That's what we were doing.
We were dogs.
Cavaliers improved to 9-0 with their win last night, 131-122 over the Pelicans. Best start in franchise history. I was at the game on Monday, and little Beamsy got to play in the preamp, got to play his first game, got to play on the court, and then we stayed for the game. And they're just different this year. Offensively, they're different. They're really fun to watch. Everybody's involved. Kenny Atkinson, the new coach, has changed a lot of things. When you think about the Cavaliers, Reese, go ahead, just in terms of a little bit of actual basketball context in terms of what you're seeing out of your team.
This is, again, a completely different team than what you had last year, and it's mostly the same players. And the difference is Kenny Atkinson and what he's been able to do to get these guys to buy in a new offensive system, and everybody knows their role. Now, I'm interested to see Donovan Mitchell after the game was mad again. This was something that was brought up last week about their foul disparity between how many fouls are called against them and how many calls are for them. That was similar last night. Donovan Mitchell spent his post-game yelling about the refs. So something to keep an eye on there. But they go tied into half, 59-all, and then in the fourth quarter, they outscored the Pelicans 40-29. So if you're going to watch this team in the third quarter, you're either going to be really frustrated or really excited. And a big test Friday, they've got the 7-1 Golden State Warriors in Cleveland.
That'll be fun. Let me ask you this, Tommy.
What I wanted to ask you, because you're up there, how have because to me, the Cleveland fan base is so special. And they're so hungry for winners.
Yeah.
I mean, this team's 9-0.
I think it's
have they bought in?
Oh gosh, yeah. And I mean they've been, I mean, if you do like best franchises in the state of Ohio, professional franchises, obviously the Columbus Crew would be at the top. They've been consistent winners for 15 plus years.
Right.
All of it, but it's been at a different level since this new ownership came in and the stadium and the arena and all of that stuff. So that they're up there. The Guardians have been consistently good for the whole time I've been in the state,
right?
Almost 2 decades.
Right.
They haven't won a World Series, but they've always been good. And then the Cavaliers have had. I mean, just think about it. Like you had LeBron James for 11 years. You won a championship, and now they pivoted. I was talking to the boys about this last night. I'm like, think how lucky you are. Like you guys. My oldest certainly remembers 16, and then you pivoted into Garland and Mitchell and Mobley, and they're right there again. So, yeah, and I think the thing for them is, this is the thing with I've always thought about Central Ohio. We're up against a little bit, so I'll get your thoughts on this on the other side of the break because I'm curious where you land on it. Blue Jackets, Buckeye men's basketball, Cavaliers, now a little bit Buckeye women's basketball with the run McGuff's had lately. Their job is to have our attention when the Buckeye season ends. Full attention.
Right.
So be good in January, and we'll jump on. Can't wait to jump on. And that's kind of – the Cavaliers have always been – Columbus to me always felt like more of a LeBron fan base thing than Cavs. I know there's a lot of Northeast Ohio expats, but that's kind of the way. And I'm curious to see if they can, with this group – kind of shoehorn in, because I do think while the Jacks have played fun, it's going to be a challenging season for them. So I want to get your thoughts on that. We got Ryan Day. He was available yesterday as the Buckeyes turn their attention to Purdue. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
News, opinions, and insight all before breakfast. Rise and shine with Morning Juice.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Fall is here and so are cooler temps. And are you craving some slow roasted turkey and dressing yet? Me? Bobby Carpenter. I love Thanksgiving. I just don't love it at Thanksgiving time. I love it all year long. And so the more I can get it, the better it is. So at Bob Evans, you don't have to wait to Thanksgiving to be able to enjoy their delicious turkey that's been slow roasted for 6 hours. Their turkey and dressing dinner plate is available any day for just $8.99. Or you can even try the turkey and dressing family meal to go at bobevans.com.
Dormar, you're kind of hero. Man, it's cold in here. Dad, did you call Dormar to have your yearly furnace maintenance?
Call who?
Dormar.
Huh?
Call Dormar.
Gosh, bless it, Red. He said to close the garage door more.
You two are unbelievable. I'm calling Dormar.
Tell them to bring me a filter.
You did hear me, right?
Yep, but your mom doesn't need to know.
Call 614-238-6689.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And when it comes to fall, we often think of those cooler temperatures, the trees changing colors, the bonfires in the evening, and of course, football season. We less often think of those home projects that we've been neglecting or failed to finish up before those harsh Ohio winter hits. If you need to have your roof inspected or it's on your to-do list, you can ensure that Newman Roofing will get you ready for those harsh winter storms. The team over at Newman has you covered, and they're family-owned and locally operated right here in Central Ohio since 1992. The 3 generations that have been in the roofing industry, they have the expertise to handle any issue you may be facing with your roof. Folks, they took care of my roof. They did a fantastic job. They're the experts, and they will give you the white glove treatment, because when your name is on it, it just means more. So if you need your roof repaired or replaced this fall, Call the company you can trust. That's Newman Roofing at newmanroofing.com or 614-NEW-ROOF.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
All right, the happy Honda days are here at your main Honda of Dublin. So I just talked to Rich, and he tells me they're going to help you celebrate your new vehicle with 0% APR up to 72 months on select 2024 and 25 models. He's also starting select leases as low as $249 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin, where you'll get same-day service, no appointment necessary. See the dealer for all these amazing details. Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Attention, small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-medohio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-medohio.com.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. Uncle Dom in for the full 3. So we'll get to Ryan Day in just a second here, some of his thoughts on the week, as it were. But I wanted you to weigh in on the winter sports battle in Central Ohio for our attention.
You know, I think it is a fan base that is there waiting to jump. I mean, I look at the Blue Jacket fans, and they have not had much to cheer about, Bo. And yet, you look at the way they fill that arena every night. Those fans are incredible. And this is a young hockey team that, you know, dealt with a devastating blow with the Gaudreau brothers, and just unthinkable what this club has had to endure. And, you know, you think about some of the things it's endured over the years, and yet the fans are there. It's a fan base that, you know, is there. And gosh, if they could ever, I remember the year that they swept Tampa, and then lost to Boston, and we had them on the ropes in the beginning. And I just remember what this city was like. And I know what this city can be like other than Ohio State football. I mean, I remember back when Jack was playing at Muirfield. I remember what the Memorial Tournament was like back when, you know, you had Tiger dominating. And you remember what that was like. Yeah. And the fan base here wants to support. And Ohio State basketball, I think it's energized. I hear people talking about, boy, I think Deebs and you know, let me just say this: I loved Chris Holtman. He was a great guy, and you know, I'm sorry it didn't work for him because, I'm a big fan of his. But I think Deebs has brought a different energy to this club. The club plays different, and I think there's going to be a fan base there. I don't understand why they did what they did the other night. And I agree 100% with you, why they would play that game in Vegas with 1,300 people watching and say, there were 6,000. I mean, it just made no sense. But and then you mentioned Coach McGuff, who's, let me tell you, folks, that guy is a great guy as well. I mean, Ohio State has some solid people coaching their basketball. And McGuff, I mean, did you see that guard they brought in, 31 points.
31 in a debut, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, she was just absolutely, just anything she threw up. She made 6 in a row at one point and then just kept it going. I think this could be an exciting offseason, but there's so much going now between that and heck, the football season's going to go longer than ever now and everything. Yeah. It's just this town has changed so much. And it's such a diverse town now, Bo. I mean, we used to say we were a one-horse town. You can't say that anymore. Us and I think Austin, Texas are the two biggest college towns in America.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
You think about
they're cities. They were college towns, and now they become major metropolitan cities with huge commerce and industry and all of it. And I think that goes to your point about you're making about the Blue Jackets, and I think the Crew have seen this with the new stadium and the new arena that's changed it. I think those are game changers. There is now, and you could correct me when I'm wrong, but when you grew up here, and so in the old days it was Buckeye football and then everything else, and it still is that. It still is Buckeye football. But the other thing that has happened here is there are a bunch of people who did not grow up here, who are not associated with Ohio State, and want something of their own, and that is where the Crew have capitalized bigly. It's with the new ownership and the new stadium, and it's where, to your point, that's the Blue Jackets are the biggest sleeping giant maybe in the NHL because of the amount of the ownership is spectacular. It's from a place to play, from a hire and stay away and let you do your job perspective. Nobody's better than the McConnell family at that. You hire a coach and you hire a general manager and you just stay out of their way, and that's what they do. They have their own planes. They have all these things that they do that are so big league, and the city has just been a boomtown over the last 15 years, really last 20. And there are people just dying to have something that's theirs, that's Columbus. The thing about Buckeye football is you have to share that with Buckeye Nation. Right. So that's the whole state. That's the whole country. There's Buckeye pockets everywhere. You and I go to these bowl games. There's these enormous Buckeye backer clubs we would talk in front of that had thousands of members. And you're like, gosh, 2 of them in South Florida are monsters. The one in the desert's huge. There's one in Dallas that's huge. Like, something of their own is something that if the Blue Jackets ever, and this nice young core, if they could just get a little bit of luck, that's something that you'd have the city by its throat. You really would. Did you ever think, now think about this, and you were always a huge soccer fan when you were here and doing the shows on ONN and everything, you were a guy that said, we're going to do soccer. You were always in the soccer. Crew
and
Extra
you
for
said,
2 or 3 years.
said this was you said the Crew were going to be the potential was there. Did you ever think that now we have this beautiful stadium, and now I'm wondering if they needed to build it bigger? They needed a bigger, because I look at the way, and the stadium's right across the street from Channel 10.
Of course, yeah.
And I see these people. It kind of reminds me of an Ohio State, because parking, they find the places to park, and a lot of them will park, and you see them walking across the bridge, and it kind of reminds me of a football Saturday where you see the fans parking all over and walking. But it is that I think Columbus has done an incredible job with the arena district, whatever you want to call it, from the standpoint that you've got the Blue Jackets arena, which is absolutely gorgeous. I think they were spot on when they built the baseball stadium, Huntington Park, and then just down the street, that beautiful lower.com field. Think about this, Bo. It wasn't that long ago in the city of Columbus, and I remember when Ohio State and the city were debating if we needed 1 arena or 2 arenas, because the only arena we had was St. John Arena and the Fairgrounds Coliseum. That was it. And now you have these 2 beautiful arenas. You look at the building that and it started with Andy Geiger and Gene Smith, what they have done at Ohio State. I mean, it is. I think the next thing that is going to come down the road for this city, because this city to me is every bit as good as Indianapolis. And I think the next thing that eventually there's going to be a talk is how do you get an indoor a stadium, a dome stadium. And I know they want to do that in Cleveland, and it's smart.
Yeah.
Because then it opens up all these different things that you can do in your city.
Yeah, I think the big thing that, to that end, I think the big thing that Ross Bjork has to tackle, and he's the right guy to do it. It's the perfect hire at the perfect time and all of it. He's very impressive. This leadership right now, very impressive. Top Gun Ted, all of them. Like, they're impressive. His next big tackle, other than everything he's got to do with NIL and all of that stuff, but in terms of, like, they've got to find a way to modernize the shoe.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you put a dome over Ohio Stadium? Is there a way?
There's always a way. Engineering-wise, I don't know. I mean, we had a guy who was an engineer who drew up some plans for the shoe that connected, like, the south stands with the rest of the stadium so that it wasn't separate anymore.
Right.
And it created some more common ways. But they do need to. They have to address the scoreboard situation. They have to address the speaker situation. We were there for the Nebraska game, and the hype videos playing, you couldn't even make out what it was because the audio was so poor in the stands. And so, like, compared to what else is happening around the country, they have to find the sweet spot, and it's a tough needle to thread of maintaining the structural integrity of a historic landmark and an iconic Ohio building while also making it something that keeps up with what everybody else is doing around the country. It's a tough needle to thread.
And I know
I think it's got to be one of his job ones.
I know it's sacrilege to say, do we get away from Ohio Stadium? I don't want that. I don't think anyone wants that. But
no, Reeser does.
Well,
Reese wants it blown up.
Well, here's the bottom line. It is iconic. It's beautiful. You know, I know when they lowered it 27 feet and took it up another 18 feet and added everything, it is a beautiful place. It has got a lot of memories. But with where we're heading in college football, wouldn't it be nice to be able to host a national championship in Columbus, Ohio? And the only way you can do that is if you have a dome stadium. And I don't know I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't know if you can dome Ohio Stadium. If there's a way, I would hope they'd think about it because but at some point, it's 100 years old. When does it they do all the updates and everything? I don't know about the structurals. Look, I know at one point you were never going to tear down Yankee Stadium, and they tore it down.
Yeah.
And, you look at Fenway, in Wrigley Field, and, you hear things about that. I hope they can figure out a way to keep the shoe forever. But I do know going in the future, domes seem to be the way to go.
Yeah, I think you'll have a college football national championship game played in the state of Ohio. It'll just be played up in Cleveland in that dome stadium is where it'll be. Is probably the way it's going to take place. Big one tonight for the Cincinnati Bengals. Hell, last week they were talking about doing a dome down in Cincinnati, but a big one on the field for them. They get the Ravens in Baltimore. Joe Burrow on the short week, and a kind of must-win for the Bengals coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
A single cloud can weigh 550 tons. A sports car fits inside a hippo's mouth. NJM Insurance puts policyholders first. Seems unbelievable, but it's all true and approved by legal. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
If you're looking for an Affordable Care Act health insurance plan, you have good timing. It's the open enrollment period, and there's an easy way to search, Health Markets. At healthmarkets.com, you can see a list of ACA plans available to you in your area. If you have questions, or when you're ready to choose a plan, there are licensed insurance agents ready to help you apply. See how easy it can be to find your next health insurance plan at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
To Central Ohioans, fall means one thing, football. At Sears Heating and Cooling, fall also means one thing, furnaces. We're not plumbers or electricians. Nope. For 74 years, we've been your Central Ohio heating and cooling experts. Need an electrician or plumber? We'll gladly give you a referral, but we won't pretend to be your one-stop shop for all the trades. We're HVAC experts, and our mission is to provide the highest quality service at the best possible price. That's the local advantage of doing business with your neighbors at Sears Heating and Cooling. Online at SearsHeatingCooling.com.
Pizza lovers, listen up. We're not that cheesy, but this deal is. For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. And you know we got even more, like flavors galore. Okay, maybe we are a little cheesy. Choose between classic 3-cheese, crispy pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big on 2 pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce. Get the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's getting closer. This is going to be a fun night. Please join us. Unforgettable evening. It's Tuesday, November 12th, High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Thrilled to invite you to the release of our exclusive fan barrel picks. We worked hard on these. Pick 3 we're very, very proud of. I love 3 very distinct, different barrels, different tastes, different bottles, something for everybody. You're going to enjoy them. Proceeds benefit Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Enjoy exclusive barrel picks, delicious food pairings, live music, and a meet and greet with select athletes. I'll be there. Reese will be there. Bob will be there. AJ will be there. Brady will be there. Going to be a lot of fun. Delicious food, live music. For tickets and more information, head to 971thefan.com. Must be 21 or older, and please drink responsibly.
I've tasted it. You know what? I just want to say I tasted it because, you know, I've become kind of a bourbon guy. Like
you are.
You kind of helped me.
I got you going.
You got me going, and now I have like a lot of bottles.
You got some great bottles, yeah.
But anyways, they make a really nice bourbon. I wanted to say that. Now, I don't drink it like you.
What am I, Hank Williams?
Well, no, I have to have ice.
I like ice.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like like my kids. They look at me and go, "Dad, come on, you're going to have an ice cube?" Yes,
I am,
because it cuts it.
It does, and honestly, if you have anything that is of a vintage of, let's say, it's been in the barrel for 15 years, or 20, or 10, or 12, the ice opens it up.
Yes.
You need it to open it up. So, like, if you see somebody, even if they're tasting something, like a Pappy Van Winkle 15 or a 20 or something like that, you'll see them do a water dropper in there to open it up a little bit, because it's been in a bottle for 15 years. So, no, Adam at High Bank he's a genius, man.
Oh, they do. They do a nice job. They do. And I'll tell you, I'm thinking about coming. I got invited. Somehow I got invited.
Nothing would please me more.
So I may come.
Wait, no, may come or will come?
I got to double check. I got to just make sure I don't have to.
What do you got to do?
I might have to take the dog somewhere. I might have to go buy milk. I got to do a lot of things.
Buy milk? You don't drink milk.
You ever seen the way kids drink it? My grandkids?
Oh, yeah, they'll suck it down.
Oh, my goodness.
Thursday night football tonight. Big one for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They are at Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens are as electric as anybody. Cincinnati at 4-5. We said you got to get to 6-6. It is a short week. No T. Higgins, Reese. Do we have an update on that? It seems
he
like
didn't practice yesterday.
So no T. Higgins. So he's not going to play again this week. I want to get into that with you in just a second. Here is Burrow on trying to win games and be a leader in the middle of a season that's had a lot of ups and downs already.
People feed off of my emotion in a positive way, and it's tough for me. As a quarterback, I think you have to. I play my best when I'm just like this. I'm not up and down and pissed and then happy and all that. I play my best when I'm just even keeled. So pick my spots where I feel like I need to say something, whether positive or negative, and at the same time balance what I feel like I need to do to go out and play great.
The T. Higgins thing is pretty dicey. I heard Schefter talking with Rothman and Ice about this yesterday in his weekly hit, and he was talking about, hey, like, this is some of the stuff we talked about. Like, when you're on a franchise tag and it's a business and you don't have a contract beyond this year, what is your motivation to hustle back from injury? And T's fighting it, and you talk to people down there, like, there's no way he wouldn't play if he wasn't able to play. Like, if he was able to play, he'd play. But it's a cloud that's kind of been over the season, the way that they handled the offseason with T. Higgins, the way that they handled it with Jamar Chase, who was clearly not happy. He was told he was going to get an extension, then didn't get one. This is always the thing with the Bengals. I know you grew up a Bengals fan, but you're always kind of knocking your head up against that cement ceiling of that ownership group.
Well, and it is frustrating because I think the clock is ticking. I think this is going to be the last year for I think that they know this is going to be their last real hurrah. That they're going to be rebuilding in certain areas, and it's a shame because they have a franchise quarterback that you could win the Super Bowl with. They have a quarterback that took them to a Super Bowl, and they have some wonderful. Now the defense has been not very good. Now it's been better the last couple of weeks, but I just worry that. You only get so many shots. I mean, I go back to something Jim Tressel said to me one time, and it really has resonated with me when he was getting ready to play Miami in the national championship, and everybody was like, we have no business in this game. This was Buckeye fans. And Tress said to me, he goes, I think we can win this game. And, the fact that we're in the game, you only get so many chances, and you take every chance you get. And as a fan, you want your team to get there. I mean, I remember the same thing people were saying in 2014 when Urban got in, and they're going, "Oh, we're going to get," and you get in, and things happen. And the Bengals, I really thought we were seeing a dynasty when they got in the Super Bowl, and I'm saying this is going to be a fun run. And they've come close, but they haven't got back. It is not easy to get to that game. When Tom Brady and the Patriots did it, that doesn't happen. When you have those special runs like we saw Montana with the 49ers, and you only get so many chances. And I love T. Higgins. I love Jamar Chase. I love the skilled players. But you said something that is so spot on. It's the Bengals.
Yeah.
And it's that ownership that's been there. And, you know, I loved Paul Brown. Paul Brown created the Bengals, and I think about it. And, you know, Mike Brown's a nice guy, and his family, they're nice. But, you know, they're not the, you know, this isn't Jerry Jones. They don't have that kind of money. It's not.
They're not the Haslams. They're not liquid.
They're not that kind of team. And it's heartbreaking. You know, I've often said, dadgummit, if we could take the Bengals offense and the Browns defense, if the governor of Ohio,
DeWine, what do you got? You got time.
And just say, Governor, here's what we want you to create a mandate and say, listen, this year there's only going to be one team in Ohio, and we're going to have the Browns defense with the Bengals offense. Tell me that team couldn't win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, that team would win the Super Bowl. I think that's probably a lock, that team would get that done. We could play it right here in the shoe that you're going to put a dome on.
Yes.
All of those things would work.
Yes.
Second hour of the program coming up next. We'll pick the NFL games at 11 o'clock, including the Bengals game tonight against the Ravens. Your emails, the mail bag is absolutely full. It's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The OSU Army ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Fall is here and so are cooler temps. And are you craving some slow roasted turkey and dressing yet? Me? It's Bobby Carpenter. I love Thanksgiving. I just don't love it at Thanksgiving time. I love it all year long. And so the more I can get it, the better it is. And so at Bob Evans, you don't have to wait to Thanksgiving to be able to enjoy their delicious turkey that's been slow roasted for 6 hours. Their turkey and dressing dinner plate is available any day for just $8.99. Or you can even try the turkey and dressing family meal to go at bobevans.com.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great, you get a brand new Kia. For less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With a vet pricing and the credit approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
So I asked the local Pella Columbus team, we're doing these ads for you. What should I tell the people? Hey, it's Bobby, and I expected them to talk about how awesome the Pella windows are and quality and looks and all that. But their first response was actually, we just want people to know how buttoned up we are. The windows, they sell themselves, but we want people to know there's a local Pella Columbus team here in town that's all in on making the process as perfect as the windows. And if you Google Pella Columbus, you'll see the reviews that prove all of it. So now you know Pella Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 2 Ohio State's back at the shoe Saturday, hosting 1-7 Purdue. Kickoff is set for noon. Buckeyes 38-point favorites in this one. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Show. On Wednesday, Coach Day told reporters defensive tackle Tyleik Williams should be good to go for the Purdue game. He injured his ankle in the fourth quarter of last week's win at Penn State. In the NFL tonight, Week 10 begins in Baltimore. The Ravens host the Bengals at 8:15. You can hear Thursday Night Football on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. In the NBA last night, the Cavaliers beat the Pelicans 131-122 to improve to 9-0. That's their best start in franchise history. Kenny Atkinson's the first NBA coach to start 9-0 in his first season with a new team. Cavs will host the 7-1 Golden State Warriors Friday night at 7:30. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Get a holiday loan from BMI and choose loan amounts from $1,000 to $5,000. Visit bmifcu.org/holiday loan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Thursday edition of the program. Paul Finebaum coming up in 30 minutes from now. Uncle Dom in studio. Always a real treat when this happens. It is time to open the mailbag, my friends. Go ahead, Reese.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. And you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
All right, Dommy. First one is from Zach. The subject today is Happy Valley Trip. Hey, Bo, he writes, after years of talking about going to a game at Penn State, we finally made the trip this past weekend. I appreciate the heads up on the stadium shaking because even with the warning, I was scared blankless by the shaking on the pick six. It felt like you were sitting in the middle of a trampoline while someone was walking around the outside. Honestly, how long could that stadium take that? For anyone who plans on going in the future, if it's a big noon game, big noon sucks, he puts parenthetically. The bars close to campus will be, for the most part, all be closed. Shout out to Anti-Fragile Brewing Company being the only bar we found that was open at 9 a.m. It's just a completely different culture than Ohio State. From what I could tell, everyone tailgates. It felt very much like an SEC school, the game day atmosphere, not the football team. Thanks, Zach. That was my experience as well. That stinks on the bars closing early.
Yeah, that I will tell you this, and like you, I've been all over the country. That is the toughest stadium to go. The only thing that I remember being close to it, and you're absolutely correct, the stadium shakes.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first year Coop went there and played a game, and he was so upset because the locker room, if you remember, it's kind of like out of the stadium, the visitor, and you have to walk through this gauntlet, the police tape, and the fans are on either side. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And, you know, they're yelling at you and they're whatever.
Yeah.
But, and then that stupid lion.
That's
all I'll say. I mean, I don't want to hear anything about fairness or whatever. They play that thing. I hope they fired that guy because, you know, nothing makes me happy. They're what? They've lost. He's 1-10 against them. The Lions not working. Get something else.
It's my favorite place to go other than getting there.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Oh, it's the worst.
I love it.
You
but
know what?
Getting there sucks.
When the game was over, Ohio State was back in 28 minutes. That's how long their flight was. But it's like a 6.5-hour drive to get there because you're on every. And then the other thing is,
you could drive to Hilton Head.
Moose and I used to bet how many roadkill we would see on the way over and back. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, This one from Terry. The subject is stubbornness. I've never played organized football at any level. I know no more about the game than any casual fan. In my unknowledgeable opinion, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly's stubborn attempts to keep running the football when it is not working will be their undoing. The 3 biggest pass plays against Nebraska accounted for more than half of their total offense, yet they continue to try to run the ball. You seem to be incredulous that Alabama would target Ryan Williams 20 times in a game. Jeremiah Smith was targeted 4 times against Nebraska. If you were a top receiver recruit, would you rather go to school that targeted you 20 times a game or 4? 20 may be a little too much, but if they don't start targeting Smith 10 to 12 a game, they will lose to more teams than just Penn State. Look, I think, Terry, they want balance. That's what they want. They want to be able to run it for 250 and throw it for 250. I don't think you have to worry about Jeremiah Smith and targets. What Jeremiah Smith cares most about is being prepared to be a pro, and no place does that better than here.
I agree 100%, and I will say this. They have to have a balanced attack if they want to win at all. I go back to 2014, and I don't think we will argue that they threw the ball in 2014. Cardell Jones, I mean, that was 3 of the greatest games I ever saw. But what was the difference? It was Zeke able to run. Mm-hmm. And this football team this year, we got the X factor because they got a quarterback that will run. And they've got things coming. There's some big games coming. We got to understand they have not unveiled everything, but it is crucial. If you want to win a national championship, you got to be able to run the football.
Kevin, with this one, the subject is Penn State. He writes, told you, Penn State's smaller D-line would be just what the doctor ordered for the Buckeyes running game. We still have James Franklin, LOL. I have no idea why Ohio State fans would ever worry about this game while he is our coach. You could be winless going into this game. It would still be a layup for the Bucks. Thanks again for a great show. Kevin is a Penn State alumnus. I say this about Penn State. I think that I want them to be better than their own people do.
Yeah, and the other thing is I can't believe they didn't want to protect this game. I mean, you're so close proximity to each other. I just don't understand. I think Ohio State wants it. I don't think they want it. I just don't think they want it. You don't want it? Okay. And I don't think they want Michigan protected either. I mean, okay.
And I both know this. Ohio State wrote down 2 teams that they wanted to play every year, and it was Michigan and Penn State.
Yes.
And we know that Penn State said they didn't write any teams down. Well, they didn't want to play Ohio State every year. They didn't want to play Michigan every year. He wants to back his way into the playoff.
Yes.
And that's all he's interested in. He's not trying to build a program that can topple Ohio State or Michigan. He's trying to build a program that's the second-rate program, the top of the heap of the second-rate in the Big Ten.
Do you blame him? He's 1-10 against Ohio State, but here's the bottom line.
I blame the people there that have allowed him to continue to do it, and they're doing it out of fear because they're fearful if they fire him, they'll end up like Nebraska. I don't think Penn State would ever end up like Nebraska. There's too much talent in the proximity.
But here's the problem. They're going to get rewarded for playing a crappy schedule. I mean, what's their initiative? Okay, we lost to Ohio State, and we're still going to get in.
Well, what'll happen is they'll get bum rushed by whoever they play in the first round.
Well, sure, but they got in. They're going to get a night. I mean, that's their goal, to get a nice little payday and say, "Hey, look what we did."
Seems like it. This one from John. Thanks for being a professional. I'm always nervous about these. He writes, Mr. Bishop, thank you for being a professional and finally paying off on your tease. I asked for your prediction on the 12-team playoff, particularly regarding the teams that were 100-plus odds greater back on August 29th. You teased my email and have now finally paid off on November 5th. Can we verify that, Reese? That I waited 3 months to pay off an email. That's unbelievable.
When did he say you teased it?
He said I teased it on August 29th.
Okay.
That's a lot to dig. Get the MIT kids to look into it. At this point, he continues to write, your beloved ponies are the only ones in this category, according to my own back alley bookie. Looks like my girl's grand wedding hopes are riding on a gold Trans Am. Sincerely, John. P.S. I'm tickled you called me a great friend of the program for my last email. I know I keep calling you out on things, but faithful are the wounds of a friend. Profuse are the kisses of an enemy. That's a fantastic email. A great friend of the program, John. We did our college football picks back in August. Our college football playoff picks back in August.
Apparently the 29th.
I don't know if I did them that day, but we definitely did.
He had that day.
He had the day. He was ready. He kept his receipts. But I know that we did our 12-team playoff back then. Maybe you just weren't listening on that particular show, John. But I know that we did do it back then. This one from James. what college football is now. The state of the game is the kids who are getting paid against the ones who want to get paid. That's interesting. The underdogs know if they show talent, they can go play somewhere and get paid now. So, Don, this was I think a response from James to a question that I had asked last week, and I asked Paul Finebaum about this, and we were talking about it on the show. I asked Tyvis, I've asked Tim May, I'll ask you. Why is there so much parity in the sport? Why are some of these bottom feeders, why has there not been separation from the most talented teams? Anybody on any given weekend can get beat.
Well, because there is parity. I remember when John Cooper brought it up back in the 80s, there was parity. Well, there was parity then, but now there's parity like I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Bo, everybody's doing it. If you got the money, you look at what Indiana was able to do. You look at what all these programs that are able to do that are part of, Vandy has been amazing what they've been able to do. And, it is the transfer portal's real, and the money is real.
Yeah.
And, Ohio State lets slip out what they paid, but they're not the only ones that's doing it. They're all doing it. They're all doing it, and that has made things even. And I've never seen anything this year. It's like I love it when people say, "Oh, Ohio State's going to roll the rest of the year. 4 games." Oh, let me tell you something, folks. Urban Meyer lost to Iowa. Urban Meyer lost to Purdue. Urban Meyer lost twice to Michigan State. Weird things happen. And you know who's the most uptight guy? I was with him last night, Coach Ryan Day, because he's got to play a Purdue football team that's 1-7. They're desperate, and weird things happen, and he knows it. I mean,
he saw that he just coached the Nebraska game.
Yeah, and the thing is, he said to me last night something very interesting. He said college football is more like the NFL with everything that's going on, from the 2-minute warning to everything that's happening now. And the we're talking free agency with no rules. You can just go wherever you want. And, we are witnessing the professionalism of college football. And I don't know how this gets settled, but honestly, the parity is real. And if I don't think they're going to lose to Purdue, but would it totally shock you if something weird happened?
Wouldn't shock me if they didn't play great.
Yeah.
It would shock me if they lost. I mean, they're 38-point favorites, so it would shock me if they lost. I would tell you this, that it's like the NFL before there were unions.
Yeah.
And this is like the old barnstorming days of the NFL.
Yeah.
Who's got $50,000 for Red Grange? He's going to play for the Bears this week. He'll play for the Canton Bulldogs next week. Like, that's what it is now. And they just have no rules to it whatsoever.
Well, they've got to get him, but I don't know how you get the genie back in the bottle somehow, because
you got to call them what it is.
Here's the bottom line.
You know it as well as I do.
Well,
I got to call them pros.
I know that's what they're going to do, but they don't want to pay. They don't want them to be employees. That's where we're heading, though.
I just see no scenario how they're not going to be. Last one for this segment from David. The subject, your high bank picks. Just wanted to say nice work on the Make a Difference Gala picks. I'm about to post my review of the Double-Double and just want to give you a shout-out in person. Looking forward to the event and the cause. Well, looking forward to meeting you as well, David. He hosts a 2 Bros, 1 Bottle podcast and does some bourbon reviews, so good job out of him, and we'll see him next Tuesday at that event. I have an email directed at you with an interaction that you had with a fan back in the day, and they confused you for someone. I will read that for you coming up next. I do look forward to it. Paul Finebaum, 1033, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Meijer holiday deals are here. Shop now and find gifts for everyone on your list. Like a Gourmet 7 or 8 quart air fryer, just $59.99. Save $40. Buy one, get one 40% off on Barbie dolls and play sets. Buy one, get one 40% off board or card games. And Falls Creek or Colorful Planet kids sweaters for $12.99. Count on Meijer to help make the holidays extra special. Shop even more great holiday deals like these in-store or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
Black Friday is here at your local Ram dealer. And right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $499 a month for 42 months with $4,082 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 11/12/24.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
Remember that day I invented the everything bagel?
That was a heck of a day, Jerry. I was right there in line.
Get Eco.
ECO.
I saw the onion bagel and the poppy seed bagel and the sesame bagel, and I thought, imagine if one bagel could give you everything you need.
You changed the world that day, Jerry.
Get Eco.
ECO.
I think Eco is just like that for homeowners in Ohio. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. One company, one call, everything you need.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco is a complete ecosystem of home services all under one roof.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Big things, small things, projects that require a little of this and that. Eco has the whole ecosystem equally covered.
Get Eco.
ECO. What if one day someone comes up with a new thing you can put on a bagel?
Well, I've already patented everything, Aaron. Nobody can claim everything plus one.
You're a wise man, Jerry.
I'm making a fortune, Aaron.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I love my Kubota tractor, RTV, and zero-turn I got from Green & Sons, and you can check them out online at greensons.com or visit them in store in Mount Sterling or north of Marysville in Raymond for all your Kubota needs.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I don't know what I want to do. I'm just not sure that college is right for me.
Have you considered a career in dental assisting? I love my job as a dental assistant. I have flexible work hours, the money is good, and I get to work in a professional, people-oriented dental office. What I really love about my job is knowing that I give people a healthy smile.
For more information about becoming a dental assistant, contact your high school guidance counselor. Or if you are no longer in school, talk to a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
After a wet day yesterday, the sunshine is back for the next 3 days. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, look for sunny skies, temperatures in the low 60s each day. Rain moves in by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
And we're sponsored by our great friends at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. The solution for weight loss is Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Dom Tiberi in with me for all 3 hours today. Paul Finebaum coming up in 14 minutes. Get Paul's thoughts on the initial college football playoff poll. Some more email to get through, Dommy, from you. This one is from Jake. The subject is, my dad confused Dom. So here is the message. Back in the early to mid-'90s, Dom was covering a high school boys basketball tournament game at the school where my dad worked. Dom was walking out of the gym, and my dad reaches out, shakes his hand, and said, Barry Katz, nice to meet you. Dom, being the nicest guy around, said, actually, I'm Dom Tiberi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I get
for the younger audience. Barry, was he in the sports department at Channel 10 years ago?
Yeah, he was the main sports guy back back in the late 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little bit shorter than me. Good guy, great guy. I still talk to Barry. So you know what happens to me sometimes? People come up, hey, Dom, how's the weather? And I'm going, weather?
Yeah, because you'll know. This one from Tony. He writes, the subject is Dom, and he writes, I believe Dom is this generation's Jimmy Crum, a great asset to our city. Jimmy was the Channel 4 sports director forever, right?
Yeah, Jimmy was there forever. I'm in 43 years. Can you imagine that? 40. I'll tell you what, Bo, I'm going to test you because I think I've told you this. March 30th, 1981.
Yep.
That is the day that I walked into Channel 10. I had just turned 22 years old. I had just come back from Daytona Beach, Florida, in spring break. I was a senior in college.
Hold on.
And I walk in here, and I'm seeing all these people I grew up watching because I'm from Columbus. The sales boy, went to Otterbein. And I walk in, and I'm like a kid at church, man. I'll tell you, first day, and all these legends I grew up watching. And 2 major news events happened that day. Do you remember what either one of them are? March 30th, 1981.
So I'm certainly not that. I'm
were
too
you
young
even born?
I was born, but I obviously have no recollection. 81 would lead me to believe, was this potentially President Reagan shot?
That was the same day. I'm sitting in the newsroom just like nervous wreck, and all of a sudden they had a thing they called the Starship. That was the assignment desk.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have, computers in it. It was all typewriters and ticker tape. And all of a sudden you hear bells and whistles going off and the ticker tape going. And then over the speaker at the Starship, you hear CBS. I hear this voice. This is CBS News in New York. We are breaking into coverage. There's been an attempt on President Reagan's life.
Yeah.
And that was, and then that night, there was another big event.
Is that
they almost didn't do.
Is it Lennon?
No, that was Bob Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers beat Dean Smith in North Carolina to win the national title. They almost didn't play the game.
Wow.
That was my first day.
So that would have been Isaiah Thomas at Indiana.
Yeah, that was my first day
Bob's
in the
an
news
Orville,
business.
Ohio guy.
Yeah.
Played here, obviously.
So back then it was Lee Velicities was the sports guy, the main sports guy, Lee Velicities, and Stu Kleitenik and Karen Kornacki. And I remember sitting back in the sports when this all hit, and the first thing they did is Moose, who was, the photographer and became a sports director. Me, Moose, and Stu Kleitenik, they took me and we went up to the Ohio State Union and we did MOSs on Reagan being shot. Man on the street interviews. It was my first day in the gig.
I'll tell you this, for the audience out there are a few things that are more exhilarating than not necessarily in that instance. Obviously, that was a near tragedy that was avoided. But live breaking news is a lot of there's a jolt that comes with it, chasing a big story. And we obviously chased a lot of them. You've chased a lot of them through the 4 decades, and most of them you've broken through the years. But there's a lot of juice that used to come with that, because in the old days, you have to remember there was no social media. So we would have something a lot of times, and you're like, well, I hope we can just get to the 11 without it being broken. And the dispatch's idea was, well, I hope that we can get to the next morning without it being broken. And that was the job. And there was so much juice to that.
Well, it's changed so much now because everything is instantaneous. But, the one thing that has never changed in 43 years, and I don't think it's changed for you, the exhilaration you get. I mean, humankind's biggest fear is public speaking.
Yeah.
And most people are petrified to get up in front of people and talk or do what we do. And I know you and I and Reese and anyone that does this, you get a rush from this.
It's fun.
It's like, you get a rush. It's like being, I did theater at one point. You probably knew that. I was on stage.
Would fit, yeah.
Yeah, I wore tights, and there was nothing like the live audience. You get a rush, and it's fun. And, I say sports, we entertain the folks. I mean, it's the one thing in the newscast you can have fun with. And there's tragedies and stuff that happens that we've seen documented. But most generally, sports is an escape. Yeah. And it's where we get to have fun. And you might as well have fun.
It's the last thing, too, along with there's a couple of, fictional shows that come out that will hit and be part of the cultural zeitgeist. But for the most part, sports is the last thing that still rates.
Yeah.
It really is. Like everything else has fallen off from the way that it used to be. Neville wants some advice. What do I do on game day this weekend? Neville writes, hey, Bo, I'm from the Youngstown area, but also lived in North Carolina for 25 years. I'm a diehard Buckeye fan, been listening to 97.1 The Fan for years. Bringing my high school senior up to the game this weekend as part of her official college visit to Ohio State. Gosh, that's awesome. And to my alma mater, Kenyon, which I love hearing you bring up a couple of months ago. I'm wondering if you have any recommendation on thing we need to do or see on game day during her visit. I haven't been to a game at the Shoe since Urban's first year in 2012, so I know a lot has changed. Thanks for any recommendations you can share. You know, first of all, that's unbelievable to bring your daughter up here from North Carolina, and you went to Kenyon and all of this. I mean, that's just a fantastic story. I know that he says that a lot has changed. Yeah, some has, but it's largely the same on a game day. It's the incredible crowd around Ohio Stadium and everything that goes with that. The one thing I would say that's going to be a little bit tough is on Big Noon, there's not a whole lot of time for tailgate. So it comes quick. But you're going to stay either, you'll stay in downtown, you'll stay in the short north, stay somewhere kind of relatively adjacent to campus, have a great meal on Friday night, tomorrow night, and then go to the game and just get there early and soak in all of it. I mean, the skull session, all that stuff. That's the beauty of college football.
I'll tell you the one thing.
It largely remains the same. The experiences are largely the same.
The one thing that I absolutely love, the two things that I love more than anything, and skull session's cool, gets a little crowded for me. Yeah. But and this is a relatively new tradition that I think Jim Tressel started and Urban kept it going and Ryan's doing it. When the players go to the skull session now and walk across the street and they walk through that gauntlet. That is my absolute favorite thing. I love that. That's cool. And then there's nothing better, and I get goosebumps every time. I 43 years of covering these guys. There's nothing greater than when the band comes into the stadium and that drum line comes in playing that ramp. Oh my gosh, I just gave myself goosebumps right now. That is those are the two things. If you want her to see something that is absolutely cool, because the players will give you high fives as they're walking through that gauntlet. Everyone will be lined up. Do it. It's fabulous. And then make sure you're in the stadium to see the band come in.
Yeah. And those things would have been there when a lot of that stuff has been there. That's the beauty of it. It's the one thing in sport where time has stood still. It's still pretty similar. A big game on campus is still pretty similar. Lots of big games on campus this weekend. Most of them are in the Southeastern Conference. Paul Finebaum will join us next on what he took away from the initial college football pairing and what should be an elimination game for a couple of SEC teams this weekend. That's next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted, they may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Tri-State Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Meijer knows that Thanksgiving is a time to come together, eat together, and share together. During the week of Thanksgiving, November 24th through the 30th, when you buy Meijer brand foods, our Simply Give program will feed up to 4 million neighbors in need. So when you bring that perfectly fluffed stuffing to the table, the cranberry sauce and green bean casserole, you're actually bringing more good to more neighbors. Let's bring more good to Thanksgiving with Meijer brand and Simply Give. Exclusions apply. See Meijer.com for details.
Active military or veteran planning your next career move? Start at Columbus State Community College. Columbus State equips you with the skills to launch a high-tech career in Columbus's fastest-growing fields, including cybersecurity, software development, and more. That's why employers fueling Central Ohio's tech boom hire our graduates. Plus, our veteran services team will help you maximize your benefits and connect to a supportive campus community. Take the first step. Apply at cscc.edu/IT.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Need a new health insurance plan? Don't feel like you have to search for one on your own. There's Health Markets. When you visit healthmarkets.com, you can speak with a licensed insurance agent in your area and get personalized recommendations. With Health Markets, you can feel confident you're choosing a health insurance plan that fits your needs and your budget. See how easy it can be to search for your next health insurance plan with healthmarkets.com. Visit healthmarkets.com today. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
Black Friday is here at your local Ram dealer, and right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $499 a month for 42 months, with $4,082 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 11/12/24.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
Bill Bishop and Don Tiberi here with you, joined now by the great Paul Finebaum, the Paul Finebaum Show, ESPN and the SEC Network. Paul, we finally have rankings, buddy. I was very curious what they would do on the back end of this. I was curious if they would entrap themselves. Largely followed the AP, not a too many differences there. What jumped out to you in terms of the first poll, the bracket reveal, and the way that it all looked?
Yeah, I was probably most interested in Indiana and Penn State. I'm not really sure why Penn State was given that much leadway for playing a predictably good game but losing at the end. And in Indiana, I respect what they've done, but I'm not overly impressed with their non-conference wins and really even in the Big Ten. But I don't think it matters a whole lot, Bo, because we know what Indiana has in 2 weeks.
No, that's That's exactly it. It's such an arbitrary thing to throw this ranking out, and I've wondered why they did the top. I know they did the top 25 for the television show, but when you look at the back of it and you look at this glut of teams between 10 and 16 that all kind of feel like, well, they can't really lose one more or they're going to be eliminated. How do you think that this committee, and what did, if anything, did you take from Ward Manuel's comments about this notion of quality wins versus quality losses and trying to weigh all of that? Because obviously these teams are not all playing like schedules.
No, it just seems like at this juncture they're giving a lot more credence to quality losses, which are great. But I'm always interested in, have you beaten anyone? And if you haven't, why would you belong in something like this? So I think it would be a little bit easier, or a lot easier after this weekend, especially with two games that could literally eliminate two name brands in the SEC.
Paul, Dom Tiberi here. Nice to meet you, my friend. My question is this, and I'll say right now, I'm not a big fan. I think if you're a top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you should get a bye. I don't understand this conference thing and whatever. And I know a lot of Buckeye fans were saying, all right, Ohio State is number 2, but if they had to play now, they would play at number 5. They wouldn't get the bye. Do you think the Big Ten and the SEC eventually say, hey, wait a minute, guys, we need to, if you're top 4, you're going to get an automatic bye?
Dom, I think you're right. The reason I believe they put in the automatic qualifier was to give each conference something to talk about leading into the conference championship game, because otherwise a lot of the conversation would already be over. But and anyone who has been around college athletics know, these people do not think pragmatically. They think like administrators. And I think a lot of people Tuesday night, at least those who were watching ESPN and not in other as opposed to other news channels, found out for the first time these aren't the 12 best teams. And it's convoluted, I agree, but I will almost certainly guarantee you that when they redo this for 26, the SEC and the Big Ten will be protected.
Paul, you mentioned the elimination games this weekend. Georgia is at Ole Miss, would seemingly be an elimination game for the Rebels. You have LSU and Bama playing this weekend as well. I guess before I get your thoughts on those games, I'm curious about that too. Do you think that the SEC, because they had 4 in and the Big Ten had 4 in at the moment, do you think that the SEC can get to the end of this season with 4 teams that have 2 losses or fewer?
It may be difficult, and quite frankly, Bo, not that anyone in Ohio cares, but Missouri very well could finish 10-2 and wouldn't get in because they have literally nothing to show for their season other than 2 embarrassing losses. It's possible because there are so many variables, but it's also worth remembering that assuming Georgia wins or loses, they may face an elimination game next week against Tennessee. So it's going to be a little bit easier after this weekend. But one thing is certain: if Ole Miss loses this Saturday afternoon, they're gone. And I'm almost certain that the loser of the Alabama-LSU game is finished. So it will be much easier to characterize after Saturday night.
Paul, I want your take on, obviously the Big Ten and the SEC, what they've become. It's amazing. Where it ends, I don't know. Notre Dame, obviously they're still an independent. Right now they're in. Are their days as an independent, though, limited? Do you think that they're going to eventually be forced to join a conference?
Not immediately, because I really think their best shot at getting into a conference was during COVID, when they literally leaned on the ACC to save them. And they ended up making the playoffs that year, as you remember, because they played in the ACC. Yeah, I don't understand the arrogance of Notre Dame. I think they would be better in a conference, frankly, because they're really in a tough spot. They're going to get in with 1 loss. They are probably not going to get in with 2 losses. And I think that team is good enough in the Big Ten or the ACC or the SEC to, especially the ACC, to have survived this season. I mean, the ACC seems – I think they're a Big Ten team, but you guys know better than I do about whatever happened 150 years ago is still being held against the Big Ten. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
But they could force them. Couldn't they force them, Paul? Couldn't the Big Ten just say, hey, we're not playing you anymore?
That would make sense, but one thing, Dom, that you always have to factor in is that even though we get tired of saying this or hearing it, Notre Dame is still a pretty good television draw. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State. Games like that really do matter. But they're really not. I don't know. I don't like the ACC situation. And by the way, Notre Dame got a break this year. Can you imagine if they had instead of Virginia and some of the cream puffs that they have in the ACC, they could have had to go to SMU or Miami as opposed to Florida State, and really been in a lot of trouble.
Paul, you mentioned we talked a little bit about the two huge SEC games, the elimination games. The four head coaches there, how would you rank the pressure on them to win this weekend with Georgia and Ole Miss and LSU and Alabama?
Well, I think Lane Kiffin probably has the most pressure because this is his best team. He spent $10 to $15 million in the portal. Does that sound familiar? And he will not have a better team than this. After losing to Alabama last year and to Georgia badly, they doubled down. So if he misses this time around, not only do I think Ole Miss will suffer mightily, I think Lane Kiffin very well could leave LSU. After that, the pressure is fairly equal in the Alabama-LSU game, except Brian Kelly probably has more goodwill at LSU than Kalen DeBoer. A loss by Kalen DeBoer would really mar this season. There's nowhere to come back. No way to come back from it. That's 3 losses. Probably would stay there, and the team could just pack it in. They still have games against Oklahoma and Auburn, of course. But I would grade the season as a bust if they can't make the playoffs.
Paul, I know the fans don't want to hear this, but parity, and I've been shouting it because, you know, I think there's always been some parity, but I have never seen it like it is right now in college football, and it's real, isn't it? The fans don't want to hear that, but on any given Saturday.
Dom, that's true, and I think it's also a matter of luck because every schedule is not equal, as you guys know. And look at Ohio State having to go to Oregon and Penn State. I mean, did anybody have a challenge like that? The answer is no. Georgia, for example, this is their third road game. Their previous 2 road games have been at Alabama, at Texas, and at Ole Miss. All of those have been in the top 5 this season. So it's just really it's a combination of wear and tear. I think some coaches are also looking at this as a 17-game season, and whether that factors in or not, I don't know. But there's not as much pressure early on as there is now.
No, there's not. Always great talking to you, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
A great pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Paul Finebaum, the Paul Finebaum Show on ESPN and the SEC Network, of course, on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Now, in our last session, you said you were hearing noises.
Terrible noises.
Tell me more.
Same time every morning.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe them?
Well, it starts like yee and then turns into woo, woo, woo.
Indeed. And does it also come with a thump?
That's exactly what it is. How did you know, Doctor?
This is a symptom of not having an Apex Pros water heater.
Doctor, I know my husband, and he would never.
And the sound then goes yip, yip, woo, woo, woo. Mm-hmm. I'm writing you a prescription for an Apex Pros water heater.
You really think this will help?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows. First you doubt me, then you doubt the pros who knows.
I'm not doubting. I just didn't think my husband would make such
the unnecessary suffering of surprise cold water. I've seen it 1,000 times. Apex Pros even has tankless solutions that provide never-ending warm water.
Wow.
The crazy sounds will go away by tomorrow. Now here's my bill. Now about that sound.
It's Alex the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows. The official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or goodfeet.com.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
You want a sub made the authentic Jersey way? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want a radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a talking dog that only talks about Jersey Mike's. My owner says, "Hey, buddy." And I'm like, "Get me an authentic Jersey sub." He says, "That's all you ever think about." And I say, "No. I also think about teaching myself to drive the Jersey Mike's, but until I figure that out, you're all I have." Woof, woof. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize. A trip for 2 to New Orleans or the Super Bowl. Take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Thursday at Scoreboard Pub and Grill in Delaware from 7 to 9, watching the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. Then Sunday at Bradshaw Sports Bar, the 49ers backer bar from 11 to 1 to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
A UK consumer watchdog has released a report based on privacy findings across a range of products, including smartwatches, smart TVs, smart speakers, and air fryers.
Air fryers?
The report found that 3 air fryers it tested all wanted to record audio on the user's phone for no specified reason. 2 Chinese brands both sent people's personal data to servers in China.
Oof.
A companion app for one of these Chinese air fryers hooked it up to trackers from Facebook, TikTok, and Chinese tech giant Tencent. That was alongside knowing the owner's precise location. For some reason, another air fryer brand also wanted to know its owner's gender and date of birth.
What?
Thing or not a thing?
It's terrifying. It's a terrifying thing. I hate this. I mean, what are we doing?
What are we talking about here?
It's awful. It's terrifying, man.
I have an air fryer, and I like it.
I do, too. I'm going to go check the brand.
But let me ask you a question. When I buy an air fryer, it's to fry the French fries or the chicken nuggets or whatever. It's not to have someone investigate me, so then they're going to call me. Look, nothing makes me crazier. And I get it like all hours of the night. I get a phone call, and it'll be the other day. It was a Channel 10 number.
Oh, really?
And so I answer it, and I hear a click, and then it's They want to sell me. They for some reason, they think I need Medicare. And it's always about this Medicare, and I get mad. And it's always the same guys. I think it's the same guys, and I don't know. You're
like
telling me,
guys.
and I don't mean to get upset, but it makes me crazy because they trick me now to answer. And in the United States of America, you got to tell me that if we have a cell phone, that we're getting phone calls from these guys that you know are up to no good. That it needs to stop. We need to figure that out. Terrible. And now you're telling me my air fryer?
The air fryer's coming for
That's
you. I'm going to go
awful.
check the brand on mine to make sure it's not one of these.
Gosh.
You are also from a generation that you answer the phone if someone calls you.
And then I end up yelling at them.
Yeah.
They hear me here. I'm back here in radio, and they laugh at me because sports, I'm Tiberi. And then I go, you're breaking the law. Quit calling me.
See, I don't answer the phone.
Well, I don't. I mean, I just answer. I don't.
I know you do.
I hate this texting. The text. My daughter goes, Dad, you call me too much. Why don't you just text me? I said, I got a phone. I want to talk to you. Text me.
You are from a generation, and I was a young kid in this, and my dad is this way. He's 10 years older than you, but he had this thing where, like, when we were a kid and the phone rang, it was like, oh, my God, the phone's ringing. Who possibly could be on the other line?
Yeah.
Could it be the president? Could it be the great... You know, it was like this great thrill to have the phone ring. And there was this great anticipation for it. And now, like, the phone rings, like, don't answer it. Send it to voicemail. I'm not dealing with it. Yeah. Very different than the way that it used to be.
Alexander Ovechkin scored a go-ahead and then what would become a game-winning goal last night to power the Capitals over the Predators 3-2. That's his 130th career game-winning goal. He's sick. It's close to breaking close to breaking the NHL record for game-winning goals. 6 goals in the past 5 games. He's got 861. He's 34 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's career goals mark. Thing or not a thing?
This is probably 2 years. Well, it's a thing. A couple years ago, Dom, we were doing Shelleytown. We have Jody on. You love Jody Shelley.
Yeah.
We all do. And he was in Washington, and we were previewing the Jackets and Caps. And I hadn't thought about it for a while. And I was just like, I wonder where Ovi is on chasing down Gretzky. And he was within right around 100 at that time. And I went, oh. Like, this is something that we thought was never going to be toppled. Now, the Gretzky point number will never get toppled because that's like the Babe Ruth 511 wins, like it's untouchable. But the fact that he's going to track this down and he's going to become the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the sport, we may never see a record like this in sports broken again.
You know, you say that, and you're absolutely right. And 20 years from now or whatever. But what blows my mind, I think, more than anything, hockey. When you watch it. It is such a vicious sport, and the hits that these guys take, but the longevity some of these guys have. He's been around a long time, but you look at some of these guys, it's absolutely amazing to me that he is good as he is, and the way he has played and taken the game. Yeah, it is definitely a thing, and hockey is. You got to be tough to play that sport. I'm telling you what. I mean, think about it. You're playing on. First of all, these guys are, you got 5 inches of height because of the blades.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're sharp as heck, and you're out there going at warp factor 6, and you're going into boards, and you got all the and I've seen the pad. They don't wear that many pads. It's not like it is amazing. You got to be tough to play hockey.
That was. Do you remember, Reese, by chance, who the Blue Jackets had? The Blue Jackets picked 8th in that draft. The Ovechkin draft. So talk about a draft. The top 2 picks in that draft in 2004 were Alex Ovechkin and Evgeny Malkin.
Wow.
They go 1-2.
Wow.
Blake Wheeler, 3's old buddy, goes 5. The Jackets picked 8 and took Alexander Picard. Now, the good news is there isn't anything crazy behind them that makes you really wince. But it goes to that thing we always talk about that, like, if it's a 2-person draft, the Jackets are picking 4th. If it's a 4-person draft, they pick 6th.
They've had no luck.
No luck.
None luck at all.
So last night was the 130th career game-winning goal for Ovi. He is 5 away from tying the career game-winning goals scored by Jaromir Jagr, who's 135. So 6 away from breaking a record by Jagr, and then he'll catch Gretzky's goals scored streak this year. On the Air It Out podcast with A.J. Green, Eagles running back Saquon Barkley revealed the NFL asked for a sample following his butt hurdle against the Jaguars. Quote, I got drug tested right after the game, end quote. Thing or not a thing?
Miles goes through this all the time. Like, anytime they see a player have, like, a big game, then they get him. So, I don't know. As much as they know about those guys, it's hard for me to believe that they need to do this. But it doesn't. I'm going to say not a thing because I'm sure at this point it's pretty routine for him.
Let me ask you, what drug would you take that would allow you to do what he did? I mean, I mean, what drug are you looking for that will allow you to leap like Superman? I don't understand that. What are you looking for?
I mean, Tony Montana had a lot of juice after all that coke, but I don't think they're looking for that.
I mean, what are you looking for? What do you think he took? Give me a break.
Just real quick, to make all of us feel old, On3 Sports reported last night, 2026 three-star quarterback Cole Leinart committed to SMU. He's the son of Matt Leinart, a 6'4", 205-pound quarterback in the class of 2026. He picked Bo's Ponies over Colorado, Arizona, and Utah. Thing or not a thing?
Yeah, you're right. It made me feel old, is what it does. that he's got a kid that's playing college football, but it makes sense. Look out for my ponies. It's my favorite story in the sport right now. They could win the ACC in their first year in it. They're taking no money. They're paying straight cash to whoever they want. Everything they've always wanted to do is now legal. It's amazing.
You think you feel old? How do you think I felt when Pepper Johnson's son played at Ohio State? Now I'm waiting for one of the grandkids to come through that I...
Right.
Oh, my... And you know what? That's coming.
That's coming. Yeah, that's coming. Final hour here on a Thursday. We will attempt to beat the house around the National Football League. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
An ex-jock and a very puffy, smooth-faced man. These are the first voices you should hear. Morning Juice. Your wake-up service.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student-athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I've had to be versatile my whole football career. Of course, I'm a defensive end, but I've also played special teams and even played fullback. Whether I'm blocking or tackling, I've got to be ready for any job out there, which is why I love the versatility in Kubota's BXB and L Series tractors. There's no task too big or small with Kubota tractors from Green & Sons. Visit greenandsons.com today, or stop by their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville, and get yourself a Kubota tractor that works as hard as I do.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614-656-4000.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
November is Veterans Month, and Awaken 180 is honoring all active duty veterans and spouses with 15% off your entire program, plus the same free support for life all clients receive. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off at awaken180weightloss.com.
If you're looking for an Affordable Care Act health insurance plan, you have good timing. It's the open enrollment period, and there's an easy way to search: Health Markets. At healthmarkets.com, you can see a list of ACA plans available to you in your area. If you have questions, or when you're ready to choose a plan, there are licensed insurance agents ready to help you apply. See how easy it can be to find your next health insurance plan at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
Black Friday is here at your local Ram dealer. And right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $499 a month for 42 months with $4,082 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 11/12/24.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Ohio State hosts Purdue Saturday at noon. Buckeyes are 38-point favorites over the Boilermakers. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Show. Coach Day says defensive tackle Tyleik Williams should be ready to go Saturday. Williams injured his ankle in the fourth quarter of Ohio State's win at Penn State last week. In the NFL, the Ravens host the Bengals tonight at 8:15. You can hear Thursday Night Football on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. Cincinnati likely without receiver T. Higgins, who's missed time with a hamstring injury and did not practice this week. In the NBA, the Cavaliers are off to their best start in franchise history, 9-0 after a 131-122 win over the Pelicans last night. Cavs will host the 7-1 Warriors tomorrow night at 7:30. Golden State won at Boston last night, 118-112. This update is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Thursday edition. Uncle Dom in for the full 3. Time to beat the house. Hit it, Reese.
Beat the house.
Pretty good week 9 for both of us. But 9-6 for you, 8-7 for me. Puts you at 74-64 on the season, 80-58.
It's incredible, dude.
For
what
me.
A run out of you. How many mattresses do you have just stuffed full of cash now?
I've had a couple of off weeks, so I haven't been able to stuff the second mattress with as much cash as I was able to the first 7 weeks of the season.
You're off week, so you're still ahead. You went 8-7, so it's not what your standard was, but you're still. I've been on it probably for about the last month. It's gone really well, where I had to dig out of a big hole, so I'm finally to the point where I got a little bit of cushion. I'll tell you this: I don't like these lines at all this week.
Now, we'll get to the Kansas City one, but how are there 8-9 point favorites? It's seemingly every week doesn't make any damn sense. You have 4 teams on a bye this week. Again, week 10 in the National Football League. The Browns, the Packers, the Raiders, and the Seattle Seahawks. We will start with Thursday Night Football, a game you can hear right here on the Fan. 8:15 in Baltimore. The Ravens are 6-point home favorites against the Bengals.
This is a big number. It's a really good Thursday nighter for Herbie and Al. They'll enjoy this one a lot. Cincinnati had them. They had them dead to rights in Cincinnati, up 2 scores in the fourth and blew it. Baltimore wins in overtime. I don't think it's a must-win for Cincinnati, but it's pretty dang close. I like the Bengals going to Baltimore tonight and winning outright. Give me Cincinnati, and I'll take the 6.
I agree, the Bengals, but I disagree. I think this is a must-win. The Bengals need to win this game. I think they will, and I'll take the Bengals in 6.
Yeah, I agree with Dom on the must-win for Cincinnati, because not only do you have to pull Cincinnati to 500, but you got to bring Baltimore down in the AFC North standings. I think this is close. I see the Ravens getting a 3-point win here, but the Bengals will cover that 6. Sunday, let's go to Germany. Munich is going to have the Giants and the Panthers. Big Blue's a 6.5-point favorite in this one for some reason. I think you're getting Bryce Young to start for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to take Carolina in this because I don't think New York's going to beat anybody by 6.5 points. I guess you'd have to beat them by a touchdown. I don't see that on Sunday.
I have no read on the idea of going to Germany to play a game. Carolina got a win last week against New Orleans, but New Orleans moved the ball up and down the field all day against them. It's just a matter of, is New York that much better than anybody? I think they're teetering too. I'm with you. I think the Giants win. I think the points are a little bit too much. I'll take Carolina in the 6.5.
Give me the Panthers in 6.5 all day long.
All right, we'll go to games Sunday at 1. The Chicago Bears are 6.5-point home favorites hosting the Patriots.
Yeah, I think kind of the same here. Like, Chicago should win this game. I think New England will play well for Drake May, and I don't think Chicago's annihilating anybody. They're much better at home. They are on the road. That much is fact. But they're infighting a little bit there, too. DJ Moore doesn't seem too happy. I like Chicago winning a close game. I'll take the points in New England.
I like the Patriots and the points, too. But what do I know? I don't have a mattress full of money like Reeser.
That's because he's just...
Well, let's hope I can make it 2 mattresses full of money. I'm going to take the Patriots as well in this. Like, the Bears will win, but they're not beating New England by a touchdown. They're beating anybody by a touchdown right now. 1 o'clock in Indianapolis, the Colts are 4-point home dogs to the Buffalo Bills. And Buffalo's just a much better team. So give me them here.
I see it the same way. I like Buffalo big in this game. They got Flacco there, and that stabilizes them a little bit. But I think Buffalo's just one of those 3 or 4 teams that'll handle anybody. I think the turf will treat them well. I like Buffalo big.
I'll take Buffalo. Give them the points to give them away, but Buffalo's going to win big, I think.
1 o'clock in Kansas City, the Chiefs are 8-point favorites hosting the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, look, there's a Chiefs tax that you have to pay because they're so popular and so many people bet on them to be able to handle it. Last time out, Denver absolutely annihilated. Baltimore got them, right? 41-10 or something like that. Was an absolute beatdown there. This number is so big. Somebody must know something. I'm going to go Kansas City, and I'll throw the 8.
I am hesitant. 8 points is a lot of points. That is and in this league, the difference between a great team and a lousy team is so close. I'm going to take Denver in 8. That's a lot of points.
Short week for Kansas City. They're not blowing anybody out.
No.
But then again, Denver just got crushed last week. Give me Kansas City in the 8 here. I don't love that.
They're tricky this week, man. Be careful out there, kids.
In New Orleans, Sunday at 1, the Falcons are 4-point favorites at the Saints. Falcons are good. Saints are bad. Give me the Falcons minus the 4 here.
Yeah, I think New Orleans they traded Lattimore. I know they made the coaching change, which is why I think this number is probably as low as it is they're thinking they're going to get the coaching change bump. I don't think it makes any difference. I think Atlanta's humming a little bit. I like the Falcons. I'll throw 4.
I'll take Atlanta as well. Give the 4 away.
Bo, I think you and I are chalk through this next game.
We've
picked the same.
Have we really?
Yeah.
Well, live to death or die alone, brother. I don't know.
At Tampa Bay Sunday at 1, the Niners are 5.5-point favorites at the Buccaneers.
This one, McCaffrey's going to play. Niners coming off the bye week. I like San Francisco. I just don't think Tampa Bay has enough weapons. The number's relatively big, but I'm cool with it. I think San Francisco looks great coming out of the bye. Give me the Niners.
Tampa Bay was fun to watch. I mean, they're using what they've got, but they are decimated in the receiver department.
Yeah.
I think Baker's playing great, but I like Baker Mayfield, but I don't know. I think the 49ers. Give them the 5.5.
All right, so this will be the first time we differ here.
Right.
I like San Francisco to win this game, but I think the Buccaneers fight and keep it a little closer, about a 3-point game, especially with Tampa Bay being at home.
You might be right.
And the Niners, is like you said, if McCaffrey's coming back, like who knows how effective he's going to be or how effective they want to make him, because it's only the first week in November. So is he on a pitch count or something to that effect? So give me the Niners to win, but the Buccaneers will cover that 5.5. I think this is our final 1 o'clock, or we'll have 2 more 1 o'clock games, but the Commanders are hosting the Steelers. Washington is a 2.5-point favorite.
This should have been America's game of the week.
Yes.
They went Eagles and Cowboys instead. This is quite honestly, if you wanted to take an NFL vacation this week, if you're not a fan of any of these teams, this is a pretty good week. There's nothing that great other than the game tonight. Tonight's a great one. This one's great on Sunday, and the rest of them you can kind of have as far as I'm concerned. I think the commies are real. I think they handle their business. I think Jaden Daniels is real. I like Lattimore coming in there to shore up the defense. Give me the commies to cover the 2.5.
I like Pittsburgh. I like what Mike Tomlin's done. It's been amazing. Their defense is real. I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm with Dom on the overall pick. I think Washington wins this by a point. So give me Pittsburgh plus the 2.5 here. Our final Sunday at 1 o'clock features the Jaguars and the Vikings. Minnesota is a 4-point road favorite. Give me the Vikings. Jacksonville's terrible.
I think Jacksonville could be a little frisky at home. I could see Minnesota winning this game. I could see Jacksonville winning it outright as well. I'll take the Jaguars, and I'll take the 4.
Give Minnesota. Minnesota's going to win. I don't mind the 4. Jacksonville, I don't like. I don't like them.
At 4:05, the Chargers are 7.5-point home favorites against the Titans.
Not enough. Titans are brutal.
What
Chargers
would it have
are
to
hitting
be for you to think about taking the Titans? Okay.
9.5 or 10.5. I think the Chargers are rolling. Harbaugh coaches it. People respond to him. They got Herbert spinning it around now, so they've even opened up that part of their offense. I like the Chargers huge in this one. Huge.
I agree with you after seeing them, and, I don't particularly care for Harbaugh, but he's got them rolling, and, I think the Chargers win.
Same.
Go Chargers, go.
Sunday at 4:25, the Cowboys are hosting the Eagles. Philadelphia is a 7-point road favorite.
Good Lord.
This screams Romo having to talk bad about Jera. That's what it screams to me. This screams Philly up 28-10 in the 4. It's Cooper Rush starting at quarterback, guys. Cooper Rush. And I'm only laying a tutty, and these two teams hate each other. Give me the Eagles, and I'll throw the 7.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dallas is they're on a. Oh.
What a mess.
I thought they were going to be good, and they tricked me.
It's the stars. All you get starstruck.
I mean, they're just. I don't know, Jerry Jones. I don't know what's going on there. It's terrible.
How about in Hard Knocks when he was on the chopper and they were supposed to wait for his son Steven? He said basically blanket. He can get his own ride. Took off.
Well, he's
Jera.
You know who he is?
Brad Wesley.
He's Brad Wesley. Real life Brad Wesley.
Really
except in Dallas, he's driving where he wants. He does what he wants. That's it.
Amazing.
Flying. Let him walk.
Sunday at 4:25, you got the Arizona Cardinals, a 1-point home favorite against the New York Jets.
Jeez, a pick 'em. I just think Arizona's more buttoned up. It's a pick 'em. I'll take the Cards.
I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, I'll go with the Cardinals.
Although there's going to be 2 big Buckeyes in that game, huh?
Oh, yeah. Garrett and Marv. It'd be nice if Arizona actually threw it to Marv.
Remember, you have the route man, Kyler.
Yeah, throw it to him. They won't. It's crazy how little they're using him.
I like the Jets.
We'll do the Monday Night Football game on Monday's program, but Sunday at 8:20, the Texans are hosting the Lions. Detroit is a 3.5-point road favorite.
Well, I heard on Rothman and Ice yesterday that Nico Collins via Adam Schefter was likely not going to play in this game. Have you guys looked at CJ's stats when Nico doesn't play?
That's not safe for work.
Not good. Houston's going to look cool. They're wearing those shiny red helmets that are gorgeous. I love that look on them. I just think Detroit's a wagon right now. I think they bury everybody they play, and I think it continues on Sunday night.
I am a huge fan of what they're doing in Detroit. I love the defense. I love the way they play offense. They're playing smash mouth, old school football. And, I'm a huge C.J. Stroud fan, but I think you're absolutely right. He's kind of come to earth the last couple games. I think Detroit wins big.
Yeah, Texans can't protect C.J. Stroud, and the Lions just got Zadarius Smith. So give me Detroit minus the 3.5 here.
All right, the Monday Nighters, Miami and the Rams. We will pick that on Monday. Coming up next, the Browns are off this week. Andrew Berry with his State of the State address. What, if anything, can we glean from it? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
In honor of Veterans Day, we're celebrating those who have given the ultimate sacrifice by giving back to Tunnel to Towers. Get to Twin Peaks and donate $5 to Tunnel to Towers through November 30th and receive $5 back to spend on yourself at Twin Peaks this December. Valid at participating locations.
Giant Eagle and Market District have deals for fall days. That's right. Find your favorite tailgate appetizers or grabbing all the crowd-pleasing essentials for the big Halloween party. Return to your routine and shop while saving big in the process. There are over 1,000 items with incredibly low prices throughout the store. Don't wait, because the Deals for Days sales are only available for a limited time. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today. Learn more about the Deals for Days sales event at gianteagle.com.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Ron with the Good Feet store. Life is too short to be living with pain. When all four arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive. Whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have, Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. Key Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunshine out there today as high pressure will take command. Another beautiful day tomorrow. Today and tomorrow will be in the low 60s, and then our next rainmaker moves in by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Find us on YouTube. YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
We want you to join us. It's our unforgettable evening. It is next Tuesday, the 12th. It's at High Bank in Grandview. Thrilled to invite you to the release of our fan barrel picks. These are my picks, man. I love all three of these. They're distinct. They're different. Convinced you're going to love them as well. The proceeds benefit Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Enjoy exclusive fan barrel picks, delicious food pairings, live music, a meet and greet with select athletes. For tickets and more information, head to 971thefan.com. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. You're going to join me?
What is your go-to bourbon there of your picks?
Yeah.
And what is the food I should order?
Well, the food it's going to be a bunch of handhelds. So it'll be small plate type stuff. So they're going to come around with that is the way that I understand it. One of the cool things they did recently was, the Double Double and the Double Oaked and the Cigar Cask are the three that I picked. They're all exceptional. Adam is an absolute wizard when it comes to blending whiskeys.
What is a Cigar Cask?
It's it is the most distinct. When you have it next week, if you're kind enough to join, you have it, it will taste unlike anything you've ever had before.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Very, very.
You're a fan.
And I'm not a cigar. I don't smoke cigars.
Does it taste like cigar?
No, not at all. No, it pairs perfectly with one though. It pairs perfect. It's really nice. So those are very good. They did a Midnight Manhattan, a ready-to-drink cocktail that was ready-to-made. That's very, very good. All their stuff is. Buddy, I've had people for years come at me about trying to be a part of, be a partner on certain things, and I'm like, I'm interested, but the whiskey's got to be great. And this was the first one that the whiskey was great. So I look for this to be great. So you'll be there. I look forward to it. We'll have a good time with all the folks.
Yes.
Andrew Berry, Browns general manager, had a State of the Union yesterday on the state of the Cleveland Browns. Andrew Berry is a master at saying very little in these press conferences while talking. It's hard to find, and I'm sure it's by design, and it works. There's not a lot of headlines that come out of these because there's not a whole lot there in terms of answers. And from his perspective, I get it. Like, he doesn't want to give a whole bunch of stuff to people to run with, so he's trying to make as little news as possible in these. Here was Andrew on this team being 2-7 midway through this season.
It's obviously a disappointment, and we haven't played well enough. We haven't done the things that are needed to achieve consistent results and consistent wins throughout the season. It's disappointing for us internally, disappointing for our fans, and really all of us share in the record. It's not just our players and coaches, it's myself, it's our personnel staff, it's our research group. And our focus really this week is on doing the things that are within our control to play quality football through the last 8 weeks of the regular season, because we have not done that to date.
This is the first time Andrew Berry's been on the record talking about, obviously, Deshaun Watson went down with another injury. This is his second consecutive catastrophic injury since he's been a member of the Cleveland Browns. One of the folks up there asked him, Andrew Berry, if trading for Watson was a good deal.
I'm really not in reflection mode. I think it's really more not really my focus at this point in the year. Our focus is really on finishing out the 2024 season, having the team play at a higher level, and then kind of we'll get to like those maybe longer term or big picture reflections at a later point in time.
Listen, there's no metric where it's a good deal. I mean, it's obvious. Like, he's played 3 seasons there. He hasn't gotten through one of them healthy. The first one suspension, the last 2 by injury. They gave up a lot to get him. They thought they were getting someone who was the number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL the last time he played a full season in Houston. They just have never really seen that. From some of it of his own fault, some of it no fault of his own. You can't help when you get hurt. Actually, 2 years ago, he was playing extraordinary football when he went down after they beat Baltimore, and that was probably the best game he ever played. So there was that one little flash, but there's just not enough. And in the meantime, this is an Achilles injury, Dom. You're talking about next November. I see no scenario how the Cleveland Browns can go through this offseason and enter next season with any plans for Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback. Just logistically, you can't just be on a treadmill as a football team for 8 weeks and then hand the keys over to someone who hasn't played in a year.
It is a quandary, and I'll tell you what, Bo, I've got a lot of friends that are Cleveland Browns fans, and they were so optimistic about this football team. especially with the way they play defense. And it's like we talked earlier. The clock is ticking. You only get so many chances at this.
Yeah.
And they have got a mess up there that I don't know how you're going to clean it up with salary caps. And this guy's going to make a fortune. And then you think about the draft picks that they gave up to get this guy. And it's generational. I mean, we could be 10 years before they can. I don't know. How do you fix it? How do you get out of the cap space and all that when you're giving this guy to king's ransom?
This is what I think. This is what I would do if I were them. You have to see what Dorian Thompson-Robinson can be, because Jameis played really great 2 weeks ago, struggled last week.
Yeah.
It's not even really about Jameis. Jameis is not the long-term fix at quarterback in Cleveland.
30 years old.
Everybody knows that. So it's really nothing to do with him in that sense. I would say the same thing if it was Joe Flacco playing right now and he was playing that way. It has nothing to do with Jameis. It just has to do with Dorian Thompson-Robinson is the only on-roster Band-Aid to fix this. And he's not. I don't think he has a ceiling to be great. But if he can be manageable and be like 70% of Brock Purdy and just run Kevin's offense, that can be a Band-Aid that can get him to their next guy. And that's really where I think that they are. They need to see big development this week up there. DeJuan Jones is the left tackle.
Yeah.
So he'd been the right tackle, so now he's the left tackle. So now I think you can spend some time in the second half of this season. Let's see if Jed Wills can play anywhere else. Jed Wills is a left tackle out of right tackle out of Alabama. They moved him to left. I would want to see if Jed Wills can play right. I'd want to see if Jed Wills can play right guard. I think all of those things are in play. I think one thing that I would dispel very quickly is you will not see, and this was reflected in the trade deadline, you are not going to see a tanking. They are going to try to pivot and be competitive next year in a different way at quarterback. And they will build it around Miles and Denzel and JOK and Grant Delpit, hopefully on Jerry Jeudy, DeJuan Jones, those type of guys. That is what their future will be about. It will be about that.
Is there any way, and this is a question I get, obviously they got to pay, they got a salary cap, they got all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any way to get around it where they can use money to go get a veteran that can be a Band-Aid? Guy like Sam Darnold or so, and how do you do that?
Well, perfect. You have to see what the market is for somebody like Sam Darnold. Like if he keeps playing well, does Minnesota bring him back for another year or two to mentor J.J. McCarthy? Sam's only 27.
Yeah.
So the guys I'm talking about are like Sam Darnold, Derek Carr. I don't know what's left of Jimmy Garoppolo, but those type of players. What Flacco was. Veteran guy who will run his system. The other thing you got to remember is there is a belief that next year Nick Chubb will be back to more similar to what he used to be, because he's coming off of 2 catastrophic knee injuries. So he doesn't have the burst that he used to have. He's close in games, but he doesn't have it the way he used to, and no one should have expected him to. It's 2 catastrophic knee surgeries on one knee. You were not going to be 100%. So I think that's the roadmap they go, and then they're in talent accumulation mode now next year. Free agency, but primarily in the draft, because you're right, the cap stuff is very, very difficult where Watson's concerned.
Is there any way to get around it with him? Because no one's going to want him. No one wants him. They're just stuck, right?
There is something from a I don't want to wade into these waters too deep because I'm afraid I'll drown. But the simplest thing I would say is there is a way for, if his injury is catastrophic, they can get relief from insurance on the contract. In other words, if he can't come back and play again,
right,
they can get some relief there. But no, they made the bed with Watson, and you got to live in it. There's really no easy way out of it. Is the long and short of it. Coming up next, I wanted to get your take on what you saw from the college football playoff poll, what you expect for the Buckeyes here over the last month. That is coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Ryan Day Show presented by Safe Light Auto Glass. Coach, you get Purdue this week. The Boilermakers, while not getting the results in the win column, seem to be playing better than maybe earlier in the season. What have you noted about them?
Yeah, they definitely have. The last few weeks, they've been playing good football, and their record is not reflects the type of team they have. They had a couple games where it came down to the last play, and I think the last couple of weeks they've been playing much cleaner. I think that they've been more efficient on offense, and they caused a lot of headaches on defense. So, humility is 1 week away, and what we can't do is do anything other than what we did the last week and prepare the same way mentally, emotionally, and physically to go play in this game. And we want a fast start. We want to be physical in this game, and we want to execute at a higher level.
We'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Coaches, the calendar has turned now to November. You finished with 3 of your last 4 at home. You talk about it often, but the message to your team about not taking these moments for granted, playing in Ohio Stadium, boy, the time just goes so fast.
It does go fast, but we got a lot of football ahead of us. And so now we are in it. We're in November, and we got to be playing our best football. So the urgency's got to be at an all-time high to continue to push. We got to continue to play depth and keep our health, but ultimately it's going to come down to how well we play. And we want to have a great week of practice, great week of preparation as we head into this game. But I think for our guys, like you said, being undefeated in Ohio Stadium is an important part of the season.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Some of those old injuries, they begin to creep up and things begin to start hurting again. I finally got to the point where I'm like, I can't just wake up and know my knee's going to be bothering me and push through this on a daily basis.
Old football injuries can't keep former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter down. So he decided to check out the all-natural regenerative pain treatments at QC Kinetics.
I was fortunate enough to obviously sit down with QC and kind of understand your body still has the ability to heal in it. We just need to give it a little bit of a boost.
Exactly. QC Kinetics concentrates your body's own healing agents in your painful hips, shoulders, knees, or back.
Everyone can say, well, you need to replace this or replace that, but it's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call today for your complimentary consultation. See if you're a good candidate. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Again, 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
college football playoff bracket coming out on Tuesday. Buckeyes hosting Purdue this week. Bo and Uncle Dom here with you for the final half hour or so. Reese here as well. Ryan Day show coming up at high noon, so you'll have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. You know, the one thing about when we have these conversations about the bracket or the poll and all of these things, and for example, Paul brought up Indiana, a lot of people talking about Indiana being disrespected and so forth and so on. We view this through an Ohio State prism appropriately. We continue to do this show in Columbus, Ohio. And with that comes a prism of Ohio State's going to be more than fine. You are Goliath. Ohio State's Goliath. Win out. You're going to be if you win out, you're going to be the 1 seed in the whole damn thing. Be the number 1 overall seed. Honestly, if they lose one more, they would still get in somewhere in the top 12. There's no doubt in my mind of that. I know they don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of it. And so it's about how this committee decides to stack the rest of these teams in here. We know that there's going to be 3. I think there's going to be 4 SEC and 4 Big 12. And I'm fascinated to see how they get there. If Indiana loses to somebody other than Ohio State, would then they go to 3 Big 10 teams? Or if those SEC teams, Dom, all have 3, several of them have 3 losses, which is very much in play.
It is certainly the Wild West when it comes to this first year for this. And I thought it was interesting. And, you know, I brought it up with Paul Finebaum. I know we talked. I hate the idea and that Ohio State's number 2, and then they put them up there and they'd be playing, wouldn't get a bye.
Yeah.
They've got to fix that. And I don't know. I know people like the conference championships, but adding, you know, a potential for 4 more games for the national champion, you know, at some point the conference championships mean nothing. Why would you want to risk getting someone hurt when, okay, you want to win a Big Ten championship? What do you play the regular season for?
Do what you just did, and let's say Ohio State wins out the regular season, and is 11-1.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say they're 11-1. If you said to Ryan Day, you can have the 5 seed right now and don't play for the Big Ten championship, I think he'd take it. And I'll tell you why. He'd get a home game against Boise State. I like my odds there. His first round matchup in the college football playoff would be against the Big 12 champion. I like my odds there. Yeah. That's on a neutral field. Probably in the desert. That'd be all scarlet and gray. If they're playing BYU, they're playing whoever comes out of the Big 12. Now I'm in the college football semis, and I've only had to play 2 games to do so. The other way, you play the regular season, you play number 1 Oregon again.
Right.
So that's going to be a slobber knocker. If you beat them, you're the 1. Okay, I guess that's great. But if you lose, now you're probably like the 8. And you're playing an 8. You might be a 9, and now you're having to go on the road. No, it's way too – I don't know how they're going to do it. Wow. I don't know how they are going – I really don't know how they're going to be able to handle that.
We have the best people on this. This is the same crew that decided to make the announcement on election night.
Oh my
that got no coverage. Here's the bottom line. What is the incentive now of these conference championships other than, you know, it's a money grab? I mean, what is the incentive? I mean, what is the incentive for Oregon and Ohio State to play again, except that we would want to see it? You know, as a fan, you want to see it, but why risk getting someone hurt? Because the especially in the 12-team playoff, that's eventually going to go to 16, I believe.
Yeah.
And at some point, I understand we're witnessing the professionalism of college football, but when is enough enough? And you're talking about a conference. What does it matter? What is the incentive? I don't understand it.
I think the way to fix this, what you're describing, is something Reese and I talked about in August. This whole calendar needs to be moved back. So college football needs to start what is now currently week 0. So you need to go start week 0 to play a full slate the week before Labor Day. Labor Day is the second weekend of college football. You need to play the Ohio State-Michigan game the weekend before Thanksgiving. You need to then give a bye week for Thanksgiving holiday and then start the playoff immediately.
Yeah.
In early December. And I think they should go to 16 teams right away. And I think what you do is you then eliminate conference championship games and you replace them with those first games of the college football playoff on that Saturday. And you go to the NFL and you say, give us our Saturdays and we'll be done with this thing by January 5th. We won't carry it into January. We'll be done by January 5th. Give us Saturdays in December. That's what, and you can have anything else. And obviously the NFL can do whatever they want. They'll bully you all they want. But say, hey, will you do this? Let's have this whole thing done by January 5th, 6th, something like that, and be done with it. And I think that solves a lot of what you're talking about, because you're right. There isn't, like, you hang a banner. Let's say Ohio State beats Oregon. How long does that celebration last?
2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds, because the thing you want is a national championship.
Yeah.
That's what you're playing for. Yeah, they say Big Ten championship, but, I mean, we don't even have 10 teams anymore. I mean, the whole world has changed. The Big Ten has got 18 teams. It's like the whole thing's up, and it's only going to get worse, I believe.
Yeah.
And, get ahead of it. The Big Ten championship was cool, but what's it do now? What's the incentive? I just don't understand.
It's a television show, so I think if you replace that with those first-round games, then I think everybody kind of wins.
Yeah.
Is that there's maybe some win with that. But no, I don't know how they're going to handle the 3-loss SEC teams, and I don't know how they're going to handle the conference champion losers. You mentioned 18 teams in the Big Ten, Dami. Look at what's happening in the ACC, where none of those teams at the top are playing each other.
Yeah.
Like, Miami's going to go undefeated in the ACC, and my guys from SMU are going to go 10-1. And SMU at least played Pitt. They played Louisville. But, like, Miami did not play Clemson. They're not playing SMU. They're not playing those teams because you have so many damn teams in those conferences.
Well, and I think it's only going to grow, Bo. I think the SEC and the Big Ten are going to continue to grow. I think that I don't know where this ends. I don't know. There's some people that are predicting that there's just going to be a super conference. And I know Gene Smith used to kind of talk a little bit about
Gordon Gee, too.
Yeah, that, and I think with the NIL, I think with the transfer portal, I think with them trying to figure the haves and the haves not, it's a quagmire, and the genie's out of the bottle. I know they want to take like one of the transfer portal windows away. They're not giving that up. I don't think you think the players will want to give that up?
The players don't have any say in it right now because they're not employees, but who won't give it up is going to be federal law.
Right.
And the courts aren't going to. Anytime the NCAA goes in front of a court, they lose.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the players don't have any say, but lawyers do.
Yeah, and so do the courts, and that's what they'll lose. So you're right. Yeah,
and then the whole deal.
They'll challenge it.
The whole deal with. I just think they should have got ahead of this a long time ago. They didn't, and now they're dealing with it. And the genie is out of the bottle. He ain't ever going back in. I don't think.
Yeah, it truly is the genie out of the bottle. It's trying to put milk back in the milk carton.
Yeah,
it's really tough.
And
really tough to do.
I mean, you think about
that's where they're at.
You think about what we have witnessed, my friend.
Oh yeah.
In the last 5 years, it's been insane.
Yeah,
absolutely. And now we're at 12 teams. I mean, when do we get to 24? When do we get to like the NFL?
16 feels like the sweet spot to me because then you get then there's no buys. Everybody plays every week. That seems like the number. And then they need to get rid of the conference champions as incentive, and just seed them one plays 16, 2 plays 15, just like the NCAA basketball tournament. Away you go. That's the way they got to do it. And I think they'll do that the next time the television deal comes up. I think you're going to get that coming up at that point. Real quickly, Greg, our good buddy Greg from Botkins. As we know, Ohio State has one loss, but nothing sets the table better than a Notre Dame loss to a middle of the MAC, Northern Illinois, or Bama's loss to bottom feeders of the SEC Vandy. Who has the worst loss in college football? It's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's a brutal loss for them. Coming off of beating A&M, and the pollsters haven't respected them since. They can't get higher than 8, 9, 10, no matter what they do. And their schedule, there's no real scares. They play USC at the end. It's supposed to be a scare this weekend. They play Florida State. Florida State stinks. It's Notre Dame's loss to Northern Illinois. That's a bad one.
That was terrible.
Really bad. 3 things on a Thursday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
When you bring Pella Columbus to your home, you get local, personal attention from an award-winning window and door crew.
Yep. Our crew is full of award winners, too.
Well, that's great, Wilson.
Yeah. Jerry alone has won the hot dog eating competition 2 years straight at the company picnic.
Well, that's not really the type of award I was talking about.
Still counts as an award.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
One great idea can change your life.
ABC Fridays. Shark Tank is all new with guest shark Todd Graves, founder of Raising Cane's.
I love that entrepreneurial drive, and I live it every day.
Emmy-winning Shark Tank, Fridays 8, 7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Meijer holiday deals are here. Shop now and find gifts for everyone on your list. Like a Gourmet 7 or 8 quart air fryer, just $59.99. Save $40. Buy one, get one 40% off on Barbie dolls and play sets. Buy one, get one 40% off board or card games. And Falls Creek or Colorful Planet kids sweaters for $12.99. Count on Meijer to help make the holidays extra special. Shop even more great holiday deals like these in-store or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
Celebrate football season with the one and only Schmitz. A Columbus tradition like no other, Schmitz has been serving up delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more for well over a century. Stop into the historic German Village restaurant for lunch or dinner. And after your meal, bring home the most delicious tailgate spread for the big weekend. Schmitz Sausage Haus in historic German Village or online at schmidthaus.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hi, Reese. What do we have in the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, what team in the top 12 of the college football playoff top 25 is most likely to miss the playoffs? Boise State, BYU, Alabama, and Tennessee are your options. 42% of you say Alabama's going to be out. 27% say Tennessee. 16% say BYU. And 13% say Boise State.
I think the Boise State is the least likely. I think BYU would be my safest bet, just from the standpoint of they have no margin for error. I am not convinced that even if Alabama loses close to LSU, that they're done. Not until I see it. I think they should be, but I think there's going to be a lot of carnage over this last month of the season. And I think there's going to be a bunch of SEC teams with 3 losses. I think that's in play, too. All right, time for 3 things on a Thursday. Hit it, Reese.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
All right, number 1 for me. So last night, 3rd grade basketball practice, we had one of my favorite days as a youth coach. So this is their first year playing travel basketball, so they're playing for the town and everything that comes with that. And one of the really cool things of getting to play travel basketball is you get really cool uniforms. So you get jersey, shorts, and you get shooting shirt. And so every year, what I do with this is I bring them in, especially for the 3rd graders, and it's in like a garbage bag, and I call them up one by one and hand out their uniform. And the amount of joy on 8-year-olds' faces getting swag is undefeated. It's one of my favorite things. If you're coaching youth sports, it's those little things. If you make those little things the big things, you cannot believe how far it goes with kids.
That is cool. For me, I'm going to channel Woody Hayes.
Okay.
Don't make the Buckeyes soft. First of all, quit telling them how good they are. They got 4 games to go. They should win them all. But as fans, I did not like the way the fans were at Nebraska. You were there.
I was.
And you know what? Bring your game. As fans, bring your game. Go in there and make some noise. Because believe it or not, the kids will feed off of you. And that was just, it was a weird game. It was just bad vibes.
It was, yeah.
And you saw what happened.
Noon is tough. And they're going to play probably, maybe Indiana's at 3:30, but it's a lot of noons. And that's a tough on a fan base.
Got to make noise, though.
Yeah.
For those out there hoping that Billy Napier was going to get the axe, it looks like they're going to keep him around at least until next season. I saw this because there were Georgia fans on the timeline celebrating the fact that the Gators and athletic director Scott Strickland are going to keep Napier around through this season. They have an interim president right now, so I wonder if when he comes in, he decides to clean things up. But at least for now, Billy Napier's the head coach of the Florida Gators.
I think this is about keeping DJ Legway out of the transfer portal, and I think it's about they have a pretty good recruiting class by their recent standards, and I think it's about trying to keep that class together before the signing deadline in December. That's my guess. Number 2 for me, speaking of first day in uniform handout, Bootsy's first travel basketball game will be played this weekend. I have no idea what to expect. And I've coached all the boys in 3rd grade, and sometimes you have a good handle on it, sometimes you don't. We got really good kids who try hard and do the right things, but I have no idea what to expect in these games. We scrimmaged the other 3rd grade team a little bit last night. It was like herding cats. No idea what to expect, but it's going to be a hell of a ride. So we'll see how it goes. We've got 2 games Saturday and then knockout round on Sunday, and away we go.
Buy him ice cream from Uncle Dom after.
That's what always wins. That's what I mean. The little things always help.
Number 2 for me, and now it's even become bigger after Eric told me my air fryer is spying on me. I got issues now with this AI business and all this stuff that's going on. I have a Google Home, I have Siri, I have all, and apparently everything, including my toaster, is now spying on me. And I think it's a big conspiracy, all this stuff. And then I get all these dadgum phone calls. I'm going to go home, and I'm taking a ball bat to everything. I'm going back, and we're just going to have a bonfire, and we're going to do all the cooking over fire. They haven't figured that out, have they?
They have not. No.
So long as you take a camera person with you.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Document and throw out on social media. Bo, correct me if I'm wrong, but for our picks in the NFL, you had the Jaguars +4 Sunday against the Vikings.
I did.
All right, I'm going to offer you a chance to live flip it. Ian Rappaport says Trevor Lawrence unlikely to play against the Vikings. Left shoulder injury. They could be surgically repaired.
Yes.
Mac Jones probably starting. for the Jaguars against the Vikings.
Flip it.
So it is done.
Sprint and flip it. Yes. If he plays, I'll live with it. Like if he fights through and he plays, I live with it, and that's fine. But if he doesn't, no, I would want it the other way. Oh, is this me? Yeah. All right. Yesterday, doing the show, my phone starts to buzz, and it was an Instagram follow request. So I had a public Instagram that got hacked, and I lost all of it, and it was really frustrating. So this time on Instagram, it's private, and I just use it for my family in Montana and stuff to be able to see the boys and stuff. I got a friend request from my 12-year-old. Now, this is noteworthy because I did not give him permission to get on Instagram, and he did it anyway. So we're going to have a little conversation.
That's it? He has it? You didn't know? It's real?
I didn't know.
You sure it's real?
It's him. Yeah, it's
You're
him.
Positive?
I'm positive.
For me, number 3, and I don't know where you sit with this, Bo and Eric, but fusion food.
Oh, baby.
Fusion food. I've got an issue with it.
Okay.
Why mess up a good thing? I don't want wasabi with my meatballs. I don't want sauerkraut with my lasagna. I don't want all this mixing up food. Am I wrong? I mean, tell me something.
You're not wrong, but I'm guessing Ryan Day is next, Reese?
That's correct. He'll be at 1 o'clock, and then Rothman and Ice are going to follow from 1 to 3. Noon for the Ryan Day Show, excuse me.
This has been a joy. We'll do it again tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Purdue hasn't closed as a 35 or more point underdog since 1989. They will this week as the Buckeyes are favored by 38. As a double-digit favorite with the Buckeyes, Ryan Day's 54-1 straight up and 32-22 against the spread. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Did you wake up with joint pain? I know how that feels, but not anymore thanks to QC Kinetics. Just like me, you deserve pain relief with no surgery and no meds. And if you're a good candidate for these new treatments, Dr. Ray Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics can get you there like they did for me and my dad. You see, my dad and I trusted QC Kinetics because they are the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments. This technology that's giving people like you and I an option other than surgery, all natural approach to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. QC Kinetics joint pain treatments can be life-changing for so many people. And I can tell you, and I get tested, I needed surgery. And my dad, his knee was bothering him, and he can walk now. And I can go run and do the things I want to do. We got relief just like tens of thousands of other people. And it's getting near the end of the year, so you can use those HSA and FSA funds before they may expire at year's end. So go check them out at 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's QCkinetics.com/Columbus in Dublin and Gahanna.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Now, in our last session, you said you were hearing noises.
Terrible noises.
Tell me more.
Same time every morning.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe them?
Well, it starts like yee and then turns into woo, woo, woo.
Indeed. And does it also come with a thump?
That's exactly what it is. How did you know, Doctor?
This is a symptom of not having an Apex Pros water heater.
Doctor, I know my husband, and he would never.
And the sound then goes yip, yip, woo, woo, woo. I'm writing you a prescription for an Apex Pros water heater.
You really think this will help?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows. First you doubt me, then you doubt the pros who knows.
I'm not doubting. I just didn't think my husband would make such
the unnecessary suffering of surprise cold water. I've seen it 1,000 times. Apex Pros even has tankless solutions that provide never-ending warm water.
Wow.
The crazy sounds will go away by tomorrow. Now here's my bill. Now about that sound.
It's Alex the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows. The official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better, just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years, and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
This report is sponsored by AAA Car Care Plus. Tires worn down from all the summer driving? Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus between August 1st and August 31st and save up to $180 on select sets of 4 Beretta Stein tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. See store for details.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it,